Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Breaking news information in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case that I reported on several days ago about this unscrupulous PI hired by the mom and stepfather of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers to run interference. We broke that he was holding critical information in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case by withholding the information related to the 3 a.m. car seen on the outside of their house where flashlights appear to be approaching that vehicle. Now, all of a sudden, it's back to being a trash truck, which couldn't be further from the truth. Moreover, he's saying the field of sight is much different than what it truly was that evening. Moreover, we have photos depicting what that camera footage would have looked like and the angle of that camera from my trip in June. Now, this distraction is after the revelations of 5 Department of Children and Family Services reports on either the mom or the stepfather in the home of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Now, here we go again. Another distraction, all from the Proudfoot camp. This is a distraction from the step-grandmother of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, is now throwing more distractions out there and going back to Seth is this pedo. But when we were talking to Yada, the cousin and family member of Katie Proudfoot, we learned she had a boyfriend and she was only in the state of Virginia around Seth for a limited amount of time when she was younger. They didn't meet until much, much later in life. Around 18 and a half years old was when they crossed paths again. They obviously fell in love, got married, and had a child. So the distraction campaign is running rampant, and the question we have to ask is why? And my opinion is they are absolutely terrified of the information law enforcement must have against them. I have no idea what is going on, but every time we start seeing these types of actions from persons of interest in a disappearance or death, we know we're sniffing up the right alley. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Bullhorn Betty channel for critical updated information related to the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and other crime cases. God bless.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
Well, hello, my beautiful people of YouTube. It's nice to see you. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. This is the piece that Delilah decided to run away from. I can't understand why she's sitting over there on the counter, but I forgot I put them on for the show. Up. She's getting closer. She's getting closer. She might be okay with the antlers. We'll see. We'll see if she pops up in the lap anytime soon. Last night when I put them on for the first time, she ran and hid. She ran and hid. It's nice to see everybody this Manic Monday. Guess what tomorrow is? It's almost Christmas time. Aw, thank you. God bless you, Melanie. Welcome to this crazy crew. I'm glad you've been here for a while. Happy Christmas Eve. Early Christmas Eve. We'll be here Christmas Eve to wish you guys Christmas Eve. And we'll be here on Christmas morning as you wake up and open your presents, because we want to make sure everybody on YouTube gets to open a present with a friend. So we know there's a lot of people out there that are all alone this Christmas holiday. And so what are we going to do? Everybody's going to save one gift on Christmas morning at 9 a.m. We are going live here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. And for all of my fellow loners out there, we're going to open our gifts together. We're going to take off the background. We're going to have a cup of coffee. We're going to enjoy Christmas morning together so nobody feels alone this holiday season. Are you going to get up here? Come on. Let's see if she gets up here. Come on. She got up here. She loves Rudolph, Betty. Aww. She finally realized I'm her mommy. Hi. Aww. You still don't know what to do with the antlers, huh? Still kind of a little shy with the antlers. Okay. You getting down or you staying up? Okay. Well, she finally kissed me. It's been a long time since I put the antlers on. I got her Christmas dress. There's her Christmas dress right there. She's going to be quit trying to pull on it. She's going to be all pretty for Christmas. There's her Christmas dress. I have no gifts, only gifts to give others. Well, you're going to have to do like I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and buy me a gift and wrap it today. We're opening a gift together. We're opening a gift together. Rudolph Betty. Yes, Rudolph Betty. I don't have the red nose though. Okay. We'll have to do something special for Christmas. Maybe I'll paint a red nose on my face. Maybe I'll put, oh, good gracious. Guys, I know this year there's a lot of people that are really, really stoked about Christmas. There's a lot of people that have a lot of pain in their heart, bodies, and souls this year for Christmas, whether they're missing a loved one, whether they're struggling themselves, whether they're taking care of a sick loved one. So just remember this holiday season, we don't know what other people are going through. And just try to show some love and kindness to those that deserve it. You know, there's just a lot of people out there that are struggling. So we want to also be saying prayer. Now, I know that there is a Christmas service or Christmas Eve service at church. I'm trying to decide what's going on with my schedule to see if the channel will be attending. I mean, obviously, you individually more so can attend anything you want with Countryside Christian Church. I'm hoping that we can all do it as a channel, but I've just got to look at my schedule and try to figure that out. But I will let you guys know tomorrow if we're going to, probably later today, probably on our new, or later afternoon or mid-afternoon live or our evening live. We're going to start getting back to 3 lives every single day. We're doing a morning, a lunchtime, and an evening show. We're going to be talking about a variety of things. Obviously, the most important case right now is a 15-year-old boy that disappeared from his home that has just recently turned 16, has missed Halloween, has missed Thanksgiving, and we're a couple days away from Christmas. So that's going to be one of our top priorities and one of our top avocations. However, there are other cases we covered, other cases we were entrenched in, such as Bryan Kohberger in the Idaho 4. There has been some information coming out that many of you guys may or may not know. It looks like that this case is once again pushed back to August 2025. We were hoping a May, June, or July. Well, it's been pushed to August. I don't know if it'll be pushed further than that. We're going to try to be there for at least the opening, middle, or end of the trial. Our first goals were to be there for the entire trial. In all fairness, I don't think that that's going to be obtainable at this point, especially since we had taken on some legal expenses this year. So we're still going to be finding a way to get out there for some of the trial live broadcasts. It just won't be the entire trial. So we'll keep you posted on the plans once we have a real firm date that we know is going to be happening, right? Because we've already this court trial has already changed at least 2, possibly 3 times already. So is there another twist and turn? We know Nancy Taylor is a pit bull, which is what we want for a defendant. And let's be honest, the more aggressive the defense attorney is, the less likely that they have grounds for certain types of appeals. Okay, there's always going to be grounds for some type of appeal that people can finagle and get through, even though they're turned down or whatnot. But at the end of the day, we want to limit the appellate process as much as possible. And having Nancy Taylor there, she's a very good attorney. She is, as you guys can see, putting up a fight for her client. So we do have to be worried for her, and about her, because she could effectively, damage the state's case with her representation, limit what they can bring in and what they can't bring in. She's very cognizant of those things. YouTuber rock your Rudolph peeps. I love it. So I'm very, very happy with, there was a few things we broke on the Idaho 4 case. And I'm doing this because
we do have people that come here and we do legitimate work on this channel. We don't just sit here and complain about people and stuff like that. We do legitimate work on this channel, legitimate investigative reporting. We were the very first social media as well as mainstream media that identified the University of Washington as a possibility. That's huge, right? Because it ended up being a University of Washington student. We did not know it at that time. We were just wondering, is it possible? And yes, it was not only possible, but it ended up coming true. So we got that right out the gate. You know, we trusted our gut on that. We were there with Fox News, CNN, people from the Washington Post, New York Post, and we were the first to break the possibility of it being a Washington State University student. That's huge. A couple other things that we didn't get into the blaming of the friends, the students. As a matter of fact, when we got there, one of the very first statements I made after seeing the crime scene and walking around the house was that whoever we're looking for is not anybody that we named. That's another thing that we were right on. You know, once we got there, of course, everybody could be a possibility, but once we got there, we knew we weren't dealing with, you know, a frat person. I'm sorry, you just knew it. What other thing did we get right? There's one more thing that we got right on the Kohberger case. Anyways, the bottom line is we've done a lot of work on this case. We had an opportunity to interview the mom, father, and sister of Kaylee Goncalves. That interview went viral, was picked up by mainstream media, and very pleased in the work that we were able to do. One of the biggest concerns we had when we got out there was making sure that we reduce people's anxiety, because there was still a lot of kids on campus. We knew we were listening to, people all over social media, parents that had kids going there. And one of the biggest things that we wanted to show was how many law enforcement officers were truly around, just to give a little bit of peace of mind to the parents until their children got back with them. Oh, thank you, Gypsy. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you for that. And so that's kind of where we, where that case kind of went. But we were on that case. We went to a lot of different places, a lot of the places that law enforcement was looking for evidence. We tried to locate. Oh, thank you, Rod. God bless you. Oh, you guys are so sweet. You guys are super, super sweet. I do appreciate it. We got a few more. Shell Bell says, Merry Christmas, 4 months. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's blessing. Look at all you beautiful people. You guys are too sweet. You guys are too sweet. And Rod opened up the phone lines after we're done. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to be going over. I would like to keep it positive. I'm going to get a little negative Nancy on here when I start approaching the Sebastian Rogers case. But before we get to the Sebastian Rogers case, we're going to get some updates. Oh, thank you, Pamela. God bless you guys. You guys are so sweet. I feel the love. Thank you so very much. Somebody just said Get Locker's birthday is today. Get Locker's birthday is today. So I think it's your birthday, not your Betty birthday. So we'll sing you a little happy birthday. People throw some cakes up there. I'll get my my Marlo Brando. I don't know. Right? So we'll sing. We'll all be together when we sing Get Lockered birthday song. So ready? All together. Happy birthday to you. Toot toot. Okay, I'm doing my little sister's one. Okay, so you guys gotta work with me here. Okay, I'm not gonna do Marvin or any other. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Get Lockered. Happy birthday to you. Okay, I'm done. Oh, I love it. I love it. Happy birthday. You got lucky. Your card was pulled. Somebody put you in it's all Angelina's fault. Blame her. Pamela, thank you. You ain't getting this kind of entertainment on another station. I'm just saying. Only poor Betty brings it like that. No, I'm just joking.
When we start getting into hard candy Christmas, then we know we're all in trouble. Which I just saw B. Betty. We did find the Secret Santa of the pound of peppermint bark and my snuggly blanket. We can thank B. Betty for being Betty's Secret Santa. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Oh, there was something else. Freebird. Freebird. Okay, remember when we were on ET's channel and everybody was crickets? We got a button for that now, baby. We got a button. We got the misinformation, disinformation buttons that have come in this morning, or not this morning, this week, right? We got it.
You're a liar.
Liar.
Nice try, but you're a liar. Liar, liar, liar. Nice try, but you're a liar.
Okay. Thank you, Freebird. Thank you, Freebird. We got our own little jam going up here, okay? Don't say Bullhorn Betty isn't multi-talented. I can push some damn buttons, okay? Not just on the bullhorn either. Just say it. Just say it.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Put a mullet on. Get Lockard ran away. Sorry, I wasn't expecting to be singing. I usually go through a whole vocal, sound day where I, right? So we can make sure we hit but this, you guys took me off guard. I wasn't expecting to have to, pull the pipes out. I wasn't prepared. I just wasn't prepared with my antlers, okay? I forgot my red nose and everything. I'm a mess, folks. I'm a mess. Come on, unmess me. Come on. There we go. Oh, now you like Rudolph. Oh, now you're like, wait, Mommy, I want some gifts. I want some gifts. Since you're Rudolph, I know Santa's coming. I know Santa's coming somewhere. I need a baby. My precious baby angel has now arrived. My precious baby angel has now arrived. All right. So let's get on with the show, shall we? Okay. Yay. All right. So we've learned, I don't know if anybody, I'm sure a lot of people have saw this. I haven't done this in quite a while. V. Oakley, it's nice to see you. B. Betty, get Lockard. I'm here. Thank you. That was touching. Aw, Sebastian Strong. Aw, it's nice to see you guys. It's nice to see you. So as we were talking about the Idaho 4 and Bryan Kohberger and all the things that went on, one thing that people don't realize is that Maddie, maybe they do, but Maddie Mogen was an only child. And, when her and Kaylee Goncalves became friends, right? The parents were kind of a little weird, at first, like normal parents are. They want to make sure that the house is clean, that they're not going over to, sending their kid over to some psychopath, right? And not only that, what's in the eggnog? I wish I had some eggnog. I drink all my eggnog. Thanks for reminding me, the real me too. You're so mean. You're so mean. So, they gelled as this like one family, even though they weren't blood related, but it sure felt like they were blood related. They felt like family to one another. And it was all because their children, their daughters, became best friends. And so they've done so much together. They've traveled to different places as a family. One time Kaylee went with Maddie's family. Another time Maddie went with Kaylee's family. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then, of course, when they were talking about college, they both went to different colleges. They were both accepted into different sororities, which was different. They weren't really happy about it, but they had been so close to each other for so long. The separation really was probably something that was beneficial to both of them. But they were still always friends. And then they had the opportunity to live together, which is what they did. And, of course, many know the horrible and tragic end to both of them. A psychopath did this, and nobody's really heard, because Steve Goncalves kind of spoke for both the Mogen family, well, Laramie family, as well as his family, because they were such a unit that most of the time when Steve was speaking, he was basically speaking for both the families. He's the one that saw both the girls and their injuries. You know, he's America's dad. For the first time, Maddie's mom decides to break her silence. And I can tell you, she looks really good, but you can see the pain that's on her, and that will probably forever scar her being, right? It'll probably forever scar her being for the rest of her life. It was her only daughter. And not just her only daughter, but the daughter that she had a very close relationship with. Okay. These were parents that loved their children, that had great relationships with their children. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, great relationships. So this is a huge void. A lot of the cases we cover, most of the time, well, not most of the time, in some of the cases, the parents are the result of why we're covering the case. In this case, these parents would give their everlast breath for their children. It's a lot opposite, and some deranged lunatic took that away from them. And so I thought it was very important that you guys got to hear from Maddie's mom, at least a little bit. We're going to stop this periodically and have some conversations, but just to get an idea.
Maddie, Kaylee, and Xana are being honored through the Made with Kindness Foundation.
Now, I want to say something before we get started, because it's very important. A lot of parents, and this is why I don't like the rhetoric from the hate channels, especially when it comes to parents of missing or deceased children, and their quest to try to paint them as making money off their child. No, bees, you're making money off their child. Okay? They're not making money off their child. They're finding ways to cope with the loss of their children. This is much like that. Made with Kindness. This is a foundation that was brought about for these parents to have a positive outlet for their children and to advocate for their children and future children. This is a scholarship, and it looks like they're going to be working with some colleges and universities. I can't think of a more honorable thing to do. A lot of our parents that suffer this type of great loss, one of my first recommendations is to do something in honor of their child. Why? Because it's a positive outlook and outlet for them. It helps them grieve. It helps them feel that their missing or deceased loved one is not missing or deceased in vain. So the next time you get on the bandwagon with one of these yahoos, even if it's me, claiming that a parent is trying to make money off their child when they're not, you know, there are some parents that do, let's be honest, but for the most part, most of these victims are doing this as a positive outlet to honor their child. And so I just wanted to put that caveat on here before anybody starts, you know, berating these families for trying to do something to honor their children.
The foundation's mission to partner with colleges and universities to provide scholarship funds, grief wellness seminars, and comprehensive on-campus safety awareness.
Grief help. Excuse me. Oh, I don't know where that came from. Grief wellness or seminars. I think that's going to be amazing, because a lot of people have grief that they don't even realize, you know, even childhood grief from a grandparent, and they've never done anything to help them get through it.
Madison's mother, Karen, is on the board. She joined other family and friends last month to dedicate Bestie's Benches to her daughter and her friends, a place to reflect and to celebrate 3 beautiful lives.
Oh, that was so sweet. I did not hear about that, but what a great tribute. What a great tribute.
Well, Karen Laramie is with us this morning alongside Angela Navejas, who is the co-founder of this Made with Kindness Foundation, which we want to talk about this morning in the way that you both are honoring Maddie. But Karen, to be with you and know how much you have been through,
that is a broken mom. And I just want to tell you that when we were there, oh, thank you, Salty Mama. God bless you. Please check your email. I sent you something to read that might help others deal with loss during the holidays. Feel free to read it if you'd like. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Let me pull that up real quick so I can make sure we cover it, because if I don't do it right now, then I'll forget to do it. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. All right, you're in the roster, so I just wanted to pull it up because if I you know how I get. 2 minutes later I'll forget to go back and check. You can see it took her mom. I remember when I was interviewing Steve, Christy, and Olivia and myself. It was very sad. And the one thing that got me, and it got me to the point that I was in tears. I had to leave the house. I tried to withhold it, not show emotion while I was there because, they're the ones that's lost the child. But I was caught off guard because when we were wrapped up with the interview, we realized that she's like, oh, they're still together. And she pointed at these two boxes on top of this TV stand. They were waiting for their urns, and the girls were still together. And Christy was asking Karen, whether or not she was ready, and she wasn't ready. She couldn't come and get her daughter. She couldn't see her daughter like that. You got to understand, the last time she had seen her daughter was laughing with her and talking to her on the phone and stuff like that. And it took her, I don't know if I'm sure she has at this point, but it took her a really long time to come to grips with what happened. And I just couldn't imagine, but it just broke my heart seeing these two boxes on top of that stand, and that was Maddie and Kaylee. It was very, very heartbreaking, period. They had a beautiful tribute to Kaylee as you walked into their home. It had one of the prettiest pictures, I think one of my most favorite pictures of her on this huge coffee, not coffee table, but, hall table. But anyways, without further ado, let me just get back to this.
how are you doing this morning?
Doing all right. It's been a long flight and some major travels, but I feel the love absolutely from you guys.
Well, we learned a lot about Maddie, and I was just wondering, like, you must talk to her often. I was imagining you doing that. Tell me about what that's like.
It's about memories and love. And sometimes I see her in dreams when she's like a toddler, and those days when they still hug you. And sometimes I see her in dreams when she's more of an adult. And it's always about hugs and appreciation. And it's just beautiful.
It's to have a dream about someone you lost.
She was so beautiful too. She really was. She was gorgeous. They all were. They were gorgeous young ladies that had a lot of life ahead of them.
It's just so special because I always think, you know, they're perfectly preserved in your mind.
Absolutely.
And it's such a precious gift. You almost don't want to wake up from that dream.
Yes. Absolutely. It's hard.
Yeah.
Because you have to say goodbye again.
Yeah. But you and Maddie had such a special relationship. I mean, I was telling you before, it's kind of mom goals, the way that she grew up and was so beloved and the special connection that you had. Can you tell me about her and tell me about that?
So one of the funny stories I was telling, I think my aunt, is that we never had slammed doors in our house. We never had, there was one string cheese fight one time when she was 8 because she wouldn't eat dinner. She would snack. And I said, honey, no, you cannot have string cheese because I'm making dinner. And she slammed it on the counter and marched to her room. And my husband Scott and I looked at her like, Well, it just happened there.
Yeah.
Like, that was so out of character. Madison was a great baby. I'm not going to say was. Madison is absolutely amazing and always has.
So she's still having problems letting go, as many moms do. But I also want you guys to listen to how she is describing her daughter. I mean, she loved her daughter and is describing her in such a loving way. And that's important because in another family where a child's missing, the mom doesn't describe her child in that way. So you guys can get over and listen to the full interview. I'm not going to play it here. We got several other things to go over this morning. And I know this is going to be a longer live than we're accustomed to dealing with, but I haven't been able to cover a lot of the cases that we should be covering. So I wanted to get an opportunity to get some new information on some of the cases that we have covered in part. This next one is Ellen Greenberg, and we didn't really dive into this too much. We've had a couple mini stories on it, especially with the knives and the puncture marks and displaying that and saying that we don't believe it was she unalived herself. It is my position that she was absolutely 100% murdered in her own home. I don't know who did it. I don't have enough information. I know she was just about to get married. Aw, thank you. Amazingly true. I know she was just about to get married, and allegedly her boyfriend, her fiance, was not in the home, and he had to break down the door and found her in this condition. It sounds to me like law enforcement botched the investigation, and instead of just owning up to the botched investigation and picking up where they left off and moving forward, they decided to label it as a self-inflicted unaliving, and the families had to fight with them to do the right thing. And so I wanted to give you guys a little, I'm just going to read this so you guys can see. It's very small on top of my screen, and that's okay. I'm just going to read it. You don't need to see it. Let me just make it on a big one, and then you guys can just follow with me. I'm just going to read this right here so we have a good update on Ellen Ray Greenberg and information. This is a great resource. This is crimetimelines.com. Ellen Greenberg. They have crime scene, autopsy, investigation, timeline, and court records. This is a great resource if you're doing some investigative journalism on the Ellen Greenberg. We're just going to stick to what's written here. We're not going to dive into it. We're going to be going back through this at another time, and we're going to dive in a little bit deeper because I have a funny feeling this case is going to start heating up once this case is reverted back to a homicide. Who could have done this? Well, there's a few things that clue me in. The door was locked. Her boyfriend had to allegedly kick it in. Unless it's somebody that knows her or has a key to the house, then unless her keys were missing, there's no way that door could have been unlocked. I'm learning some new information, but we'll go through this case. That's just one of the first things that get my attention. Ellen Ray Greenberg, born June 23rd, 1983 in New York City, was the only child of Joshua and Sandra Greenberg. 1994, the family moved to Harrisburg from New York. Ellen attended, I can't tell you that, Susquehanna. I don't know how to pronounce these words, so I apologize. But I think it's something Hannah Township Middle School. After graduating high school, Ellen attended Penn State University. While at Penn State University, she worked as a liaison. I don't know what that is, where she introduced athletes, and their parents to the campus and even helped out on the football field. Ellen graduated from Penn State with a degree in communication. She planned on becoming a speech pathologist, but realized it wasn't the right career path for her. She then attended Temple University at night to earn her teaching credentials. After Ellen obtained her teaching credentials, Ellen began her career as a first grade teacher at Juanita Park Academy. Here's some of the timeline information that might be important to you. 1983, she was born. 2007, she met her fiance, Sam Goldberg, through a mutual friend, and they went on a blind date. In 2010, after 3 years of dating, Sam proposed to Ellen on the beach during a trip to California. Ellen accepted his proposal, marking the beginning of their journey toward marriage. In August 2011, Ellen Greenberg and Sam Goldberg moved to a modern apartment on the sixth floor with views of the Schuylkill River. I don't know how to, in Pennsylvania. I don't know why they make these words so hard. December 2010, the month leading up to her death, Ellen Greenberg parents and friends began to notice a significant change in her behavior. Ellen, who had always been cheerful and composed, became increasingly anxious and stressed. When questioned about these changes, Ellen attributed her anxiety to work pressures and the stress of planning her wedding, scheduled for August. In December 2010, her anxiety reached a point where she even expressed the desire to quit her job and move back home to her parents. It sounded like there was more going on behind the scenes that many probably didn't realize at the time. As Ellen's anxiety continued to escalate and began affecting her sleep, her family urged her to seek professional help. Following their advice, Ellen saw a psychiatrist on 3 occasions who prescribed her Klonopin and Ambien. Klonopin, a long-acting benzodiazepine, was intended to help manage her anxiety and panic attacks, while Ambien was prescribed for her insomnia. Ellen initially reported to her loved ones that the medication seemed effective and she felt better. January 12th, 2011, Ellen seen a psychiatrist, Dr. Ellen Berman. Notes from the visits: once things in control, my whole life, hard worker, anxious, not sleeping, job sucks. So it sounds like she was having some issues with her job as well. January 17th, she saw so 5 days later, she saw the psychiatrist, and notes from the visit: she wants to quit, but mom and fiance don't want her to. She can get out of contract within 2 weeks. When she started to work on something, she starts thinking about everything else. Not suicidal is what it was notated. 2 days later, she sees the psychiatrist again, and notes from that visit is sways better, feels 75% better, agrees she should get through till June. She tends to walk around compulsively, needing up. I don't know what that means, unless they're trying to say compulsively trying to be neat or put things in their place, maybe. Several days after that, Ellen sent out her save the date cards for the wedding, as they had set a date to get married on August 13th at the Hotel Hershey in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That day, she was also helping a close friend with an upcoming wedding. That Saturday, they went dress shopping for bridesmaids' dresses. While looking for bridesmaids' dresses, Ellen began crying and told her friend, "I'm sorry. I know I'm not myself, but it'll get better." I don't know. There seems to be some type of struggle. I just don't think that all this anxiety just came about all of a sudden. I think there was something going on. January 26th, and this is 4 days after that. On the way to work, Ellen spoke with her mother, Sandy Greenberg. Ellen left work early because of severe snowstorm. So 1:26 p.m. on the way home, she stopped at the gas station to get gas. Gas receipts showed January 6, 2011, timestamp at 1:26. Ellen used her Visa card at the gas station on Umbria Street, not far from the Venice Loft, that she had spent $41.20 at pump number 4, filling her tank with 12.878 gallons of unleaded gas. That afternoon, her fiance, Sam, also left work early. When she went back to her apartment, she entered grades for her first grade students. So it does appear that she was working when she got back home. Around 2:30, about an hour later, Ellen calls Ventry Restaurant. At 3:47, Ellen sends her final text. So 3:47. So she was home for a little over an hour, maybe about an hour and a half. 4:45, her fiance Sam Goldberg left their apartment to go to the gym within their complex at 4:45, while Ellen was on the laptop looking at wedding venues. That is weird. Just in the middle of the day, in the middle of a snowstorm, he goes to the gym. 4:50, Sam Goldberg enters the gym on the first floor of Venice Loft Apartments. Surveillance video sees him 5 minutes later at 4:50. 5:30, Sam exits, so he wasn't even there 40 minutes, exits the gym on the first floor of Venice Loft. So he's been seen there for 40 minutes, and he walks in and turns around and leaves. When he returns at 5:30, he found that he couldn't enter the apartment because the door had a hotel ranch-style latch engaged from the inside. Despite using his key and banging on the door, Ellen did not respond or unlock it. Samuel sent several text messages to her. Hello, open the door. What are you doing? I'm getting pissed. Hello, you better have an excuse. What the F? You have no idea. Samuel then went downstairs to the lobby and asked Phil Hanton, the security guard, to help him break into the break the lock. Phil refused as he told him it was against policy. At 6:14, Sam called his cousin, Carmenia, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce that. Camian. At 6:26, Goldberg answers a phone call from his cousin and uncle. His cousin and uncle instructed him to call 911 and went upstairs and forced the door open himself. Just inside the door, Samuel found Ellen slumped on the floor in the kitchen, leaning against the cabinets. At 6:33, Sam then calls 911. Samuel was instructed to remove Ellen's sweater and administer CPR. That's when Sam noticed that there was a knife in Ellen's chest. When he removed the sweaters, when he noticed the knife, operator was instructing Sam to stop administering CPR, and the paramedics were on their way. Emergency responders arrived at 6:36 and found Ellen semi-upright positioned between two corners of the cabinet. Ellen had been discovered seated on the kitchen floor inside her locked apartment with serrated knives plunging 4 inches into her chest. A strainer filled with blueberries and an orange. It doesn't sound like this woman. She's fixing herself fruit. A strainer filled with blueberries and oranges appeared freshly sliced and rested on the counter. 2 clean knives were in the sink, and 20 stab wounds with 10 alone in the back of Ellen's neck covering her body. She was pronounced dead at 6:40. 6:36, emergency responders arrived on scene. 6:40, Ellen Greenberg was pronounced deceased. Sam Goldberg is taken in handcuffs to be questioned by police. And I would have to say there's definitely something going on behind the scenes. Just by the mere explanation of it, you can kind of see the spiraling effect. She wasn't happy. I think she may have called it off. You know, she didn't love her job. She wanted to move back home. And I don't know.
Help! I need a now. I just walked to my apartment. My fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere.
What is the address?
4601 Flat Rock Road. Please come help now.
4601
Flat Rock Road.
Is this a house or apartment?
Oh no! Oh no! It's an apartment. Please hurry, please.
Where is she bleeding from?
I don't know. I can't tell.
So you have to calm yourself down in order to get you some help.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm looking at her right now.
I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Come on, baby. Get up here. There you go. I'm sorry, not sorry, but I would be freaking out
not calming myself. I don't know. I don't know how to make this because I have my feelings about men going to gyms in their complex for only 40 minutes while their fiance is being stabbed to death in what could be described as overkill, which is usually equated to heat of passion. It doesn't sound like she's been there or has anybody that has that type of heat of passion for her other than, say, a fiance or boyfriend, right? There could have been an affair for all we know, but it does seem like it's up that alley.
I can't see anything. There's nothing broken. She's bleeding. Ellie!
You don't know where she's bleeding from? Can't see
Ellie!
where the blood's coming from?
I think her head. I think she hit her head, I think. But it's everywhere.
Okay,
it's everywhere.
She might have fallen. Do you know what happened?
She may have slipped. There's blood on the table. Her
But doesn't see a handle of a 4-inch blade hanging out of her chest.
Face is a little purple.
Okay, hold on for rescue for her. Stay on the phone. What's wrong?
I went downstairs to go work out. I came back up. The door was latched. My fiance's inside. She wasn't answering. So after about a half hour, I decided to break it down. I see her now just on the floor with blood.
Half an hour.
She's not responding.
Okay, is she breathing? Look at her chest. I need you to calm down, and I need you to look at her chest. It's really.
I really don't think she is.
Listen to me. Someone's on the way. Look at her chest. Is she flat on her back?
She's on her back. So I bring her.
Look at her chest and tell me if it's going up and down, up and down.
I don't see her moving.
Okay. Do you know how to?
Still, nothing about the knife protruding from her chest, and she's laying on her back.
Do CPR.
I don't.
Okay, I can tell you what to do. Okay, until they get there. I want you to keep her flat on her.
God.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, okay.
Are you willing to do CPR with me over the phone until they get there?
I have to, right?
Okay, to get her flat on her.
I have to? This is odd for me. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but for me, this is a little strange and some change.
Her back, bare her chest. Okay, you want to rip her shirt off. Okay. Down by her side.
Oh my God, Ellie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir.
Okay, I'm trying not. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh my God, she stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell with a knife.
A zipper? Did I just hear that correctly? A zipper? So she stabbed herself to death and managed to zip up her jacket with the knife still protruding from her chest. And law enforcement truly believed that this was a self-inflicted unaliving. Zipped up. That's what it just said, Eve Loves. Let's go back and listen to that. This guy, I don't know. I'm getting all kinds of vibes. And it ain't looking good for the fiance.
Oh my God, Ellie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir.
Okay, I'm trying not. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh my God, she stabbed herself.
It's a zipper. It won't come off because it's a zipper. Oh my gosh, herself? That was the first thing that he thought of when he saw a knife protruding from her chest and blood all over the place. And she managed, while she unalived herself, to have some flick of her muscles going into, the death, shakes and stuff like that, and managed to zip herself up while she was going through all that. I absolutely believe it, truth and time. But I wanted you guys to hear this because we're going to be going over some updates in the case. So I thought you guys needed to be brought up to snuff because, again, this is a case we haven't dived into too much. We've covered little changes and stuff like that. We knew we had our opinion about this, about it not being a self-inflicted unaliving. But we never dived into the case. We're not diving into the case more than this, and just to cover the updates, but it's going to be hard to cover updates when you don't know what transpired before, right?
Mama Smurf, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Gypsy, good morning. If I didn't say good morning to you.
Where?
She fell on a knife. Oh, no, her knife's sticking out.
What?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
What?
Her knife's sticking. Oh, my God.
Listen to how he talks about it. This guy was not shocked. Listen to his speech pattern. It doesn't seem like he's shocked. Listen to his speech pattern.
She stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell on a knife. Oh, no, her knife's sticking out.
What?
Oh, no, her knife's sticking out.
I'm trying not. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh, my God. She stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell on a knife. Oh, no, her knife's sticking out.
What?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Okay.
So she either fell on it or she stabbed herself, but managed to zip up her jacket to cover it up. And you wonder why these parents are so upset. Why would any DA or law enforcement body cover up a murder? To cover up bad policing? That's horrendous. That is absolutely horrendous. I hope these people sue the shit out of them so much so that it breaks the damn county. No offense to the taxpayers of that community, but you got to vote better, because this is what happens when you vote for crap. I hope those people, whoever was responsible, have been fired since then, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, well, don't touch it.
Okay, so I just let her here now. I mean, what do I do?
No, I mean, you can't. If the knife is in her chest, it's going to be kind of hard for you to do CPR at this time.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Police CPR at this time.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. Okay, no problem. Thanks for letting me know. Does this sound like a grieving, unknowing fiance that just found his fiance on the floor in a pile of blood, with having to unzip her jacket to find a protruding object from her chest? And the first things are, she either fell on it and managed to zip her jacket up, or she did it herself and managed to zip her jacket up. Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Police with operator. 277.
Is someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said 4601 Flat Rock, right?
Yes.
Okay, someone's on the way. And the knife is still inside?
Wait, so what?
The knife is still inside of her?
Yes, I didn't take it out.
Was it her chest or what area?
It's in her chest. It looks like it's right in her heart.
Okay, someone's on the way.
No emotion whatsoever. No emotion whatsoever. I would be losing my shit if I saw a knife protruding from a stranger's freaking chest. I would be losing my shit.
Way out there, okay? Just get.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay.
How old is she?
She's 27.
27, and there's no sign of life at all.
No, please don't be. What?
Been turned to her arm and tell me she responds to pain.
Ellie. She's not. Her arm, her hands are still warm. I don't know what that means, but there's blood everywhere.
I know, but you can't, and the knife is still inside of her. How far? Can you see how far it went in?
It looks pretty deep.
Okay.
It looks it's a long knife.
Don't touch any.
Now, I don't know about you guys, okay? I almost don't want to do this with a real knife, but I almost want to do it with a real knife, but we don't know what size knife it was. But this is what we can do. So you're telling me somebody laying on their back, okay? Even, let me turn one of these buttons on. Let's put shut up button right here. So you're telling me laying on my back. You guys can't see that. Delilah, I'm not a jungle gym. I'm not a jungle gym. Delilah. Okay, that wasn't part of the exercise. Okay?
That wasn't part of the exercise. But you're telling me that somebody is laying on your back. Okay, we weren't talking about Delilah's bootay, okay? Yeah, she's funny. She's such a funny little girl. She saw me doing something. She's like, I want to know what that is. Can't have her doing anything. She's such a cutie pie. She's such a cutie pie. So, anyways, she was slumped against the wall. She was, but when you heard the 911 call, he had already put her on her back. So you're telling me when you moved her from sitting kind of up, like, I guess, let's use the vape. So these are the cabinets. This is the corner. The blue is her. So she's kind of slumped up between two cabinets, from my understanding, sitting, slumped over. And apparently, according to this 911 call, she was laying flat on her back. So he obviously moved her to put her flat on her back. And he's trying to convince me that she has a zipped up jacket. Something, doesn't matter. Anything zipped up. So she's in her house like I am, in a zipped up, right? And you're telling me that you can't see something when she's laying on her back protruding out of her jacket? And when you do unzip her jacket and see something protruding out of her chest, you're going to tell me that that's the first time you saw anything poking out of and your first thought is that she either did it to herself or fell on it and managed to zip up her jacket. 20 times. Passion crime. Absolutely, Faye. That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. And I looked at in the eyes. I don't know what it is about the eyes. That's why I'm an eyeball to eyeball person. That's why I don't put occasionally I'll put my little emoji on, but I'm an eyeball to eyeball person. And I know if I'm an eyeball to eyeball person, some other people are eyeball to eyeball persons. I think you can tell a lot about somebody by seeing their face, their reaction, just the look in their eyes at times, just looking at them. Sometimes you can look at somebody's eyes and get a warm, cozy feeling or take a few steps back feeling, right? Just by looking at somebody's eyes. So I think it's very important. And I did see a picture of her fiance, and I got to tell you, I wasn't getting a whole lot of good feelings from those eyeballs. And that was just a photo, right? So I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this. Of course, that was just initial impressions. You can't make a whole lot. I'm a reasonable person. And I know that this woman is deceased. Am I, subconsciously seeing something that's not there? Of course, I always apply that standard. But just that initial impression. And I have to be honest with you. Going over this, I was just going to read it. I had never heard the 911 call before I was playing it here on this show. If I did hear it, it would have been played probably a year or two ago when we covered this case once before. But I'm listening to this 911 call, and I'm just saying, like his voice, his speech pattern, it doesn't sound like a man that just walked in with his beautiful fiance to be in a puddle of blood. I think any reasonable person would be like many of the other calls we get where they can't even understand whether it's a man or a woman on the phone. We've heard calls where we couldn't even tell and find out it's a man with a deep voice. And it sounded like a woman because they were freaking out so much that their voice was pitched. This guy is like, oh my God, she's got something. She stabbed herself. It was to me, I don't know. You get what you guys get out of it. I got what I got out of it. Let's just listen to the rest of it, and then we'll talk about the updates.
Yeah, don't touch anything. Okay?
I'm not touching anything. I can't believe this stuff.
So wait, it was just you there with her?
We're the only ones here.
And she ran in the door. You said latched it shut.
No. I went downstairs to work out, and when I came back up, the door was latched. Like it was, it wasn't like it was, it was like locked from the inside.
All right, so let's talk about this. I'm going to use my chat for this. Okay, has anybody seen the inside of this apartment? Do we know what the inside of? Let's see. Sorry, this just bothers me now. Ellen Greenberg apartment floor plan. Just see something here. What was the floor plan? Does anybody have the floor plan of her? Does anybody know? This is what I want, because I do want to dive into this just a little bit more. It's got my curiosity a little bit. And if you guys can, if somebody sends it to me, let me know. But I'm looking for the floor plan of her apartment, or photos of the inside. Maybe they do have them on this page because they did have crime scene photos. I want to see if there's a back door, if there's a window, because it'd be a front window, I would presume. Some way somebody had to have gotten out. If they latched, that's if what he's saying is true. But if they latched that, you guys know, we've all stayed in hotels. You got that little knobby thing that sticks out from one door, and you have this little latch that goes over. And it's so if somebody's able, if you forget to lock your door and somebody opens the door, it's got this big metal bar that stops it after opening like this much. That's what they're talking about, was on that door. In my opinion, if there is no sign of forced entry, it would stand to reason that someone would have a key, or someone she knows. So let's talk about the potential people that would have the key. Now you have the property maintenance guy. They would have keys. They have keys most to every apartment. The front office would have keys. Her fiance would have keys, and maybe their immediate family. We don't know of any key being on the outside of the home, so that a third party would know. But that is still a limited amount of people. And there was, in all fairness, there was signs of forced entry, because law enforcement didn't get there until after her fiance broke the door down. And that would have been a sign, even though he explained it as being, from the time frame he said, how do we know they didn't get in a fight before and he kicked the door in and had to explain the door? We don't know just yet. Now, there might be some witnesses. This happened in 2011. I haven't pillared through all the stuff. I haven't had time, because I've been working the Sebastian Rogers case and continuing to do so. But if you guys do have some information about this is pretty interesting. All right, let's get back. Let's finish up the 911 call.
And I'm yelling, so I'm
was
yelling
your house
and
broken into?
No.
So there's no sign of a break-in?
No sign of a break-in at all. I mean, there will be when you get here, because I had to break the latch, but to get in.
Okay, 4601.
So there you guys have it. There is that. Here's the kitchen. You guys can see that. Oh, we got this. I didn't see this either. Take this off. Maybe I didn't play it. Am I playing it or not? There it is. Okay, here we go. It doesn't seem like I'm playing when I get back on this screen. It seems like it'll only play when I'm on that screen. Maybe it was just a second. I don't know. There we go. We'll have to, let me see if I can get the video on a different, I don't know. Oh, it's a 4-minute video. Here, let me share this. So that's him going down to the exercise room. There's him coming back out of the exercise room. Would that mean that he did it to clear his head? I don't know what this one is down here is for, but maybe he walks out of this one down here. I don't know what I'm watching. So let's speed it up a little bit. Oh, there he is. Right there. So that's her boyfriend. He seems pretty casual. But he seems like he stayed downstairs longer than he should. He went to the gym and then he walks around. You guys seen how long it took? It's like over 2 minutes, and then he pops back in the screen. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I really don't. I don't know what to make of that. Give me just a second. Let me take this down. Yeah, I don't know what to quite make of that. Let me stop this. I lost my... Every time I pop something new in, I lose my my audio because of the StreamYard sucks. Okay, there we go. All right, so we get that. And the surveillance from Greenberg's apartment complex. So he just went downstairs and then went back up. Police report says detectives arrived on scene at 2027 and met with the 5th District Police. Snipes 6358, Young 6960 holding the log. NWDD Sergeant Ferguson 446, Det Veal, which is Detective 9216, Detective Reeve 9020, and the assigned. The case number is DC 115-001577, Homicide Sierra 9103, Peters 850, arriving a short time later. The decedent's fiance, Samuel Goldberg, date of birth, along with his family and some friends, were also present. How did they get there so quickly? Law enforcement seemed to have gotten there. Well, maybe that's by the time the detectives got there. Ellen's body was found on the hardwood floor located just inside the door entrance. The decedent was found supine with her head and some of her upper body, shoulders resting against the lower half of the white kitchen cabinet next to the range. So she was, it sounds like she was on the floor, but slumped over, kind of holding up closer to the floor, not standing straight up. Her body, starting with the head, is facing north and the legs west. She is clad in a zipper-up, dark-colored shirt over top a T-shirt, gray sweatpants, underwear, light brown Ugg boots. A pair of glasses on the floor to the right of the decedent. A white towel is grasped in her hand. A white towel was grasped in her hand. Sounds like she was taken off guard. Her hair tie and scrunchie is on her right wrist. There are no personal effects on the body. Upon further examination, the decedent had a knife embedded in her left chest through her clothing. So it was through her clothing. So somebody zipped up the jacket. There was multiple stab wounds examined at the scene, at the chest where the knife is located, and other superficial grouped nearby. One to the left chest near clavicle, two more mid-chest, between and just below the breast. There are defects to the shirt consistent with the underlying wounds.
So it was obvious wounds. So it seems like it was obvious wounds, and somebody went and grabbed her jacket and put her jacket on her, possibly. There are no defense injuries to the hands and wrist or forearms. It was a blitz attack, guys. The right hand is closed in a loose fist. Post-mortem findings, arrival at 2027 and 2155 are the same. The body is mostly flaccid. The hands appear to be slightly stiff. The body is cool to the touch after extremities and warm to the touch at the torso. Front and back lividity is unsuspicious. Yeah. So there you guys have it. That's it. I'm not going to go through any more of that. That's enough. You guys get the gist of it. So here's some more information about this. Let me make sure my sound is still on. It is.
I want to bring our senior national correspondent, Brian Enton, into the story. He did a very deep dive on all of this earlier this year. He spoke with Ellen Greenberg's parents today as well. I just want to make note, in that statement that was released, the current state of the evidence and evidence presently available kind of makes me think that maybe evidence is missing. Maybe I'm reading in too much. But Brian, you talked to Josh and Sandy Greenberg, Ellen's parents, today. How do they react to this news?
Yeah, it's interesting what you said, sort of reading between the lines. They actually called it a vanilla statement because you could sort of look at it two different ways. It was disappointing because they are not going to continue investigating right now, but they did kind of leave the door open, and they didn't flat out say that there wasn't anything shady that went on here. Listen to what her parents told me.
We want to thank Chester County for having a preview of this, so we knew what was going to happen yesterday with our attorneys and my wife, the four of us, two attorneys and the wife, okay? We found their investigation to be very shallow. Their investigative reporter, or whoever their investigative expert.
Their forensic expert lacked any medical training. They
lacked medical training. I mean, I can't even imagine. How
lacked any forensic
he had a degree in entomology, which is the study of insects. He did have some sort of criminal justice degree, but a master's, but he didn't really have the credentials of a true forensic specialist.
That is highly, highly disturbing for me. Highly disturbing. I didn't know people could have those positions without having the proper credentialing.
And one thing that frustrated them, Ashley, is that this investigation by the Chester County DA went on for years, and then this was the ultimate outcome.
So we're going to get over to more coverage, and then we'll get into the update. And then we'll move on to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers.
Greenberg was the teacher. She was the teacher found dead with 20 stab wounds in 2011. The Philadelphia medical examiner ruled it was a suicide, and her parents have been fighting to get that changed. Tonight, for the first time since Chester County detectives ruled there wasn't enough evidence to move forward with criminal charges, we're hearing from her family. CBS 21's investigative reporter Chu Yilin spoke with her parents today. How did they feel? I couldn't even imagine.
Yes, that's right. The Greenbergs said they were not shocked because they were given a heads up before the news release. However, the Greenbergs are not convinced by Chester County's conclusion.
In my opinion, is they didn't look very hard.
And the Greenbergs are not sure exactly what Chester County investigators have looked into.
They did not share the findings. They just shared the conclusion that this expert from Florida felt that Ellen could have inflicted 20 stab wounds and considered it not a homicide.
That's insanity. I mean, just those two positions on the diagram alone are impossible. I mean, you're talking about large, I don't see how you could do that and to hurt yourself so bad and still be able to continue. This does not make sense. And if there was nothing going on before the boyfriend or fiance went downstairs, why in the world would she just, boom, decide to take herself? She was talking about quitting her job. She would much rather quit her job and go home. Why didn't she just do that? There were so many other things she could do. But you know what? When we were reading everything, to me, she felt trapped. That's just my personal belief. My personal belief.
The Chester County DA's office says the detectives have reviewed previous files and conducted new interviews. They also spoke with an independent expert, but not finding it a homicide baffles the family.
The fact that some wounds have been labeled postmortem was actually done by the medical examiner's office, not by people we hired.
Ellen Greenberg's parents say Chester County's decision does not change anything in their fight.
The conclusion of Chester County is in a lane all its own, because we still believe Ellen was murdered brutally. We still have a civil action pending, and we also have a date to go to this Pennsylvania State Supreme Court.
Look at that. How could anybody inflict those? I mean, look how straight some of those are. They're not at an angle, which is what we believe. You know, when you have something back here, it's hard to get your hand directly behind you to make straight marks. You can do it in front of you, but trying to reach out behind you and do it is next to impossible. And to get this many straight in, I don't think so. I don't think so. But we all have our opinions about it. I mean, just a second. Sorry, just got a package. But to make those things straight is next to impossible, you know? Next to impossible. Aww. Where did this come from? Aw, thank you, Freebird. Aw, got Delilah a little, what do we have here? Oops, wrong one. Got her a little stocking, a Delilah stocking. Aww. Oh, thank you for the divider tabs. I can always use these, especially with all the court cases. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. You guys got to see that live as it happens. Now Delilah wants her toys. No, you're not getting your toys. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. I'll let you break into it tomorrow. Thank you, Freebird. God bless you. Thank you, thank you. All right, so let's get back to the update of this. What has happened? Well, in all honesty, it sounds like the mom and dad actually are advancing positively through the court system. The judge overseeing the case is baffled. That's what I said, baffled at how this is classified as a self-inflicted unaliving. Baffled. So let's get over to that. Let's listen to what they have to say here.
Good evening. Up here on the 6th floor of Philadelphia City Hall in a drafty courtroom, lawyers argued before a judge about the 13-year-old case of the sudden death of a Manayunk school teacher named Ellen Greenberg.
I'm glad that the public is getting an opportunity to observe the way things work in this city, the things that have gone down, the mistakes that were made, the lies that have been told.
Ellen Greenberg's body was found in the kitchen of her apartment during a blizzard in late January of 2011. With some 20 stab wounds, her death was first determined to be a suicide by first responders. Then following an autopsy, it was ruled a homicide. But investigators following a meeting would change their minds again and list Ellen's death as suicide. It's alleged Ellen's fiance returned to the apartment and had to break down the door, finding her lifeless body. Attorneys say the police crime scene unit's attempts to investigate the crime scene were compromised because the apartment had been cleaned up. Today marks the first time Ellen's parents say they heard details of their...
Why would the apartment be cleaned up prior to the investigation? That's my first question.
daughter's case aired inside a courtroom.
I couldn't believe it was me sitting in a courtroom and hearing details of my daughter's brutal murder.
Attorneys for Dr. Joshua and Sandy Greenberg allege a deep-seated conspiracy, claiming the city's police department and medical examiner's office conspired to hide a homicide to effectively cover up a botched police investigation into
a botched police investigation. They would let a woman go without justice. That is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. And I believe that is the case. Now, these are only alleged in these court proceedings. It hasn't been a finding of this court just yet, but this is one step toward the finding of the court.
To Ellen Greenberg's death.
What the Greenbergs are contending is that their daughter was killed. It's a murder, and that it was hidden after the fact with false information.
We have the city against us, trying everything in their toolbox to try to make us quit. And that emboldens me.
It does. It has a way of emboldening people.
Attorneys for the city of Philadelphia, a chief medical examiner, and detectives on the case told the court there is no evidence of a conspiracy and that officials named in the lawsuit alleging intentional infliction of emotional distress on the Greenbergs are protected by immunity.
I hope not. I mean, if you willfully cover up something, if you don't get immunity. If you work for a government agency and you intentionally and willfully do something, you should not be. You should not have immunity, period. And I hope there's no laws that give anybody carte blanche immunity just because they work for a government body, because people do intentional stuff and should be be held accountable for that. So in the newest information related to Greenberg, the judge basically said he was flabbergasted with how this could have been ruled an intentional unaliving. So that kind of is where we're at. Where am I going from here? Angelina sent something. Case documents and details. Thank you. Thank you. I'll go through those. We'll do some little updates on it. I want to read emails, but I'm not going to put them up on the screen, obviously, for the obvious reasons. I don't want to dox anybody. I can't see chat at this moment, but I did want to read these. I don't know. I usually keep people's names off unless right at the top it says I can use it because I don't want to get down to the bottom. It says, I thought this may be something you'd like to share for those suffering loss. My mom has been gone since September 2017, and this helped a lot. Much love from Illinois. Hi, this is your late loved one speaking. I don't have long, so listen up because I have a lot I want to tell you. First off, I get it. Ever since I left this world, you have missed me, and I know you're bracing for the holidays without me. No matter what anyone says, this year's festivities are going to be really tough. In fact, let's be honest. This festive season will probably suck pond water. But then Thanksgiving and Christmas are tough holidays for a lot of people. You're not alone. See, the misconception about the holidays is that they are one big party. That's what every song on the radio claims. Each television commercial you see shows Happy families clad in gaudy Old Navy sweaters, carving up poultry, smiling their perfect Hollywood teeth at the camera. But that's not exactly reality. In reality, 58% of Americans admit to feeling severely depressed and anxious during November and December. In reality, many folks will cry throughout most of the most wonderful time of the year. Well, guess what? Nobody is crying up here in heaven. This place is unreal. There is literally too much beauty to take in, way too much. For starters, get this, time doesn't even exist anymore, which I'm still getting used to. Right now, for all I know, the calendar year down on Earth could be 1728, 4045, 1991, or 12 BC. It really wouldn't matter up here. This is a realm where there is no ticking clock, no schedule. Up here, there's only this present moment, this here, now. That's all there has ever been, and there is real comfort in this. I know this all seems hard to grasp, but if you were here, you'd get it. Also, for the first time, I'm pain-free. I feel like a teenager again in my body. You probably don't realize how long I've lived with pain because I've never talked about it. I kept my problems to myself because I was your loved one, and you needed me to be brave. But pain is a devious thing. It creeps up even in the strongest person, little by little, bit by bit, until pretty soon pain becomes a central feature of life. Sometimes my pain would get so bad, it was all I thought about. No, I'm not saying that my life was miserable. Far from it. I love being on Earth. It's just that simple waking up each morning was getting exhausting. But you know what? Not anymore. In this new place, I'm holy. I'm thoroughly happy. But enough about me. I don't have room to describe all the terrific things I'm experiencing, and you don't need to hear them. Right now, you're grieving, and what you need is a hug, which is why I'm writing you. This is my hug to you because you've lost sight of me. And in fact, you've lost sight of several important things lately. Death has a way of blinding us. It reorganizes the way we think. It changes you. You will never be the same after you lose someone. It messes your inner physiology. It messes with your inner physiology. It reorganizes your neurons. But then there's one teensy little bit you've forgotten. I'm still around. Yes, you've read that correctly. I'm still here with you. No, you can't see me. No, you can't reach out and hold me. But you know that one of the things I'm allowed to do as heavenly being is hang out with you. It's true. I'm never far away. I'm in the room with you now, along with your big cloud of ancestors, saints, and witnesses. I'm the shouting breeze alongside of you, watching you live your life, watching you raise your kid, watching your private moments of sorrow. Here in the new realm, I'm in perfect position to help you learn things, which is what I vow to spend the rest of your earthly life doing, teaching you little lessons, lending you a hand when you least expect it, and desperately trying to make you smile. Actually, I've been doing this stuff, you just didn't realize it. What you don't believe me, well, wake up, pal. You know the tingle that you get in your spine whenever you think of me? That's me. You know, just yesterday you had a beautiful memory when you were driving and it made you cry so hard that it actually felt good and you began to laugh through the tears. Also me. You know how sometimes when you're alone, preoccupied with something else, you suddenly you get this faint feeling that someone's standing in the room with you. Hello, me. You're not alone on this earth. You never were. You never will be. So during this holiday season, when cheerful families are getting together and making merry and taking shots of eggnog, I'm going to be the clinging to your shoulder, help you muddle through somehow. I'll be making your spine column tingle a lot, and I'll be sending plenty of signs. Each of these signs, every single one, is a code for I love you. So start paying attention to these hints, because this was one. I thought that was really special, so I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. It's just a little email that I got for people so they don't feel alone this holiday season. There's also something else here, and I thought this was interesting. Actually, this is going right into our next case. Let me see where we were at here. So we're going over Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We're going to be moving in from, let me stop this screen. We're going to be moving away from Bryan Kohberger and Greenberg's case, and we're going to be moving over to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was 15 years old when he disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He has since turned 16 years old. He's missed his first round of holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving, his 16th birthday. And as many of you know, we're 2 days away from Christmas with no sight of him, with no information that could lead us any closer to finding him and reuniting him back with his dad. It is this boy that's behind me here. That's Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. If you don't know about his case, I suggest you go through my playlist. I have a playlist dedicated to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and his story, and we've covered a lot of it. There are some things before we get started and sully this, I'd like to end this with positivity, not negativity. So we're going to start with the negativity first and foremost when it comes to this particular case. But let me clear out all this stuff that I've got that we already went over. No point in keeping it around. Okay. So a few things. Yes, leave. Yeah. Okay. So to address some of the stuff that's been going on with Jay, first of all, I really don't care what she thinks she's going to be able to do. Bring a good attorney. Obviously, I would not say the things I say without having good proof and evidence on my side to say them. If she didn't want to be perceived as a ho, stay away from other people's men. She can, do whatever she needs to do. But we're not going to even get into it. And this is coming from a woman that has done some horrible things to a father that's just trying to find a son. She has put out lies and bunk information on an innocent dad that has been turning over every single rock to try to find his son. And because of her affiliation with my ex and the things that she did and them trying to unite to take me out, right? Sue me, baby. I live in Florida. Shouldn't be that difficult. Sitting at my house right now to accept service. I could care less. You're an LLC, so make sure you bring an attorney, because I will be challenging it if it's not an attorney. And since I have never said her name, it's all her brand. So I'll be sitting here waiting to accept yet another court case. It's not going to bother me one bit, because of the things that she said about me, the things that she said about Seth, the things that she brought on herself, the lies and manipulation, the conning of stories. I really could care less. So that's my statement to that ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 ho. See you soon, cupcake. All right, now on to other news. There is, as we know, there has been some stuff dropped. There has been some stuff dropped recently by ET on his channel about some of the stuff going on behind the scenes that seem to have weighed on his shoulder. Now it sounds like he's kind of now that he's got some of the stuff out, it seems like he's calmed down a little bit, right? I still feel there's more that's going to erupt over time by just, when it starts, you let it go, it's contained, and then a little bit later, it still overboils you again, So obviously there's some things that this man knows that are weighing on his shoulders. And just by normal psychology, if we've already had this, expect a few more to come, because that's just kind of how it works, right? That's just kind of how it works. And in that, it was another bombshell that it's possible that the stepfather's vehicle was around their home, potentially during the time that Sebastian went missing. And that was kind of being brought, well, it was kind of weird because there was so much brought up in that live previously. It was a 4.5 hour live. And so the last hour or 2 hours of that live was when the stepfather came up on panel and, was talking to them and demanding them not to talk about this or that or that. And then it kind of went into a basically an interview where they started questioning him about some stuff, and the stuff before the stepfather got up there was very interesting. And in my opinion, very damaging. And why he focused only on the truck with all this litany of what I would say tea, what we could equate to, bringing the tea, it was a little crazy that he went to the truck. So we knew right away, just literally right away, that the truck and this information about the truck potentially being there. And not only that, but the stepfather being so arrogant to say that those stupid detectives didn't even know it was his effing truck. Like, how disrespectful can you be to the detectives? And apparently this was said a while ago. This wasn't something that was just brought up. This was something that was known a while ago that we, the people, didn't know about it because it goes to the integrity of the investigation, right? Where the stepfather was and whether or not he was near that home during the hours that this child may or may not have disappeared from that home is huge and absolutely something I don't think that law enforcement would ever want out in the general public during an active and ongoing investigation. Just me personally. However, it is now out there. The possibility, that's all that needed to be put out there, is the possibility that he could have been in the area, and it's going to grow legs and multiply, right? So that possibility has already been laid because of ET and the commentary from ET. But see, I have to trust my gut, and my gut is telling me, because ET was a staunch supporter, he must truly believe in somewhere in his heart of hearts that this was during the time that we think this is during. Because I don't see a man being that upset, especially, he's here for Sebastian. And if that is true, just like me, I'm here for Sebastian. If I found out something from Seth that would make me question whether Seth could or could not have done something to his son, I would be taking, I would be, bucking, right? I would be bucking. Thank God I don't have that experience with Seth. Everything that I have ever talked to Seth about, or any questions I've ever had for Seth, have always not just been answered, but has been answered with receipts, So I've never really had to worry about that. No matter what my questions have been, they've always been answered. And not only if they could, there are some things that he didn't know about, I'm not allowed to know about. And the stuff that he could talk to me about is the stuff that he provided me with receipts, such as his alibi, right? He was at work, right? And not only did he answer my questions, he provided me the receipts to support his answers. So that's one of the reasons why I have been so strong and such a great supporter of Seth, as opposed to the other ones that keep everything so hush hush and, want to confuse. If you ever listen to everything that they say, most of the stuff that they're doing and saying is to confuse people. It's not only to confuse people, it's to make them doubt any of the real information that they know. That's why we keep it factual over here. We do, speculate on what some of these facts could mean, how they would lead, such as there's no evidence. What does that mean? To me, no evidence is evidence. It to me implies a cleanup. That's what it implies to me. Okay. Not everybody's going to believe that that's what it implies, and that's okay. Well, I'm speaking for Bullhorn Betty. You guys have a chat to speak for yourselves, right? Debate the issues, not the people. But for me, lack of evidence tells me there was a cleanup. That's just what experience in cases tell me. Does that mean that this case, there was a cleanup? No, it doesn't. My experience is what's leading me down that road of speculating that the lack of evidence is actually evidence. Okay? So that's where we're getting. So on Elevated Truth, something had to happen. Now, also that was just recently dropped on the same vein is, let's go back a little bit further. We started having some major public breaks in this case. Now, these are not warranted or authorized outside of the, trying to identify the green hoodie person. None of this other stuff to me has been authorized by law enforcement to be released. But at the end of the day, without a court order, they can't stop public people and private people releasing information that they have acquired themselves. There is no court order preventing them, right? So there is new videos released of inside the Texas Roadhouse, inside and outside of the Texas Roadhouse. We finally got to see the video that Seth had an opportunity to see way back when he finally got the proof of life and got to see his son. And he said his son didn't seem as happy as he was. He had his hands in his pockets, which apparently Sebastian's hands being in his pockets must mean something to the family about maybe something related to his behavior or his mood at the time or something like that, because it was something I remember him saying his hands were in his pockets. So that tells me that hands in the pockets must mean something for Sebastian. Long story short is after that came, this email out, or maybe before that came this email out about them wanting to put Sebastian in a facility. And it was only one-sided. So it seemed like the mom and stepdad wanted to throw shade on the father. But see, the problem is that this was shade on them because they, again, were the ones that approached Seth about this. And because Seth did not want his child being abused in a facility like Bledsoe in Gallatin, he wanted to reach out to professionals to find out who would take his son and be best equipped, since this is what Katie and Chris want to do. It is my understanding that they found out how incredibly costly these facilities were going to be. And all three of them would not be able to afford these facilities. I believe ET said somewhere around $7,000 a month. And so that's really what changed this family's mind, is the cost of to put them in a facility. So if three people can't afford the facility, what makes people believe one person could afford a facility, right? Again, these things are very expensive and they want to be paid. They're not going to put somebody in their facility and not be paid for it, period. They are a business, okay? They are a business. So that's key factor number one. We also learned because of this email that there were 5 CPS reports, I believe what we think are the stepfather. Now, there was one little snippet of information that implied maybe one of those was toward Katie, because she may not have stopped something, but we don't know. We just know that there's 5. But the way it was said, it was either the stepfather or the mom, but the mom would have been, and I remember hearing that, but I don't remember the verbatim. language used, but something to that effect. Betty, have you seen Jennifer Coffendorfer's interview at Court TV? We're getting there. We're getting there, Faye. And so where was I? So we got the footage where now at the facilities are no good. And so now we learned about the 5 CPS reports, and that kind of hit. And then the release of some of the inside footage of the Texas Roadhouse and the exterior. Then we went to the green shirt hoodie guy. Next thing you know, SF is trying to drive a different narrative. So he puts all this bunk reports out about how his work is so much better than everybody else's, when we could clearly see how wrong his stuff is. Mob Crew did a great breakdown of how wrong this unscrupulous PI's work is, because you can clearly see him trying to drive a narrative to help his clients, not allowing the information to be accurate. It is always going to be one-sided when it comes to this unscrupulous PI, because he's trying to save his clients. That's the way I'm looking at it. That's the way I'm going to always look at it, because I truly believe that these folks did something to their child. I don't know what, but with the 5 CPS reports prior to his disappearance, it makes me very concerned, to say the least. So recently, Jennifer Coffendorfer was just on Court TV. And in that Court TV interview, she stated that she has a little more footage than what we've seen. And part of that footage is it appears somebody may have been looking at the table. That it appears that in the footage that she had an opportunity to preview, that there was more going on there. You got Katie looking all around there. She wasn't looking for waitstaff. I'm sorry. You have your hand up when you're looking for waitstaff. You know, you wave at waitstaff. Or as waitstaff is walking by you, you pull them over and tell them to go get your waiter. Waitstaff walked by her. She still didn't stop anybody. She didn't raise her hands to indicate she needs her waitstaff at her table. She's just obnoxiously looking around like she's looking for someone. Okay? Now, can you innocently say, oh, well, she's probably just looking for, of course you can. Of course you can. We're going to look at it with a more skeptical eye. Why are we going to look at this with more of a skeptical eye? Because several hours later, her son disappeared forever. Okay? And he hasn't been found yet. It is about to be 10 months and 3 days since this child has disappeared. 10 months. They don't get grace. Everything that they do is going to be side-eyed. Why? Because they had a child disappear from inside a locked home, and that child has never been seen from since. That's why. Okay? That's much different than the circumstances of Seth Rogers, where he went to work, came out, got off of work, clocked out, and his whole life flipped upside down. This child was with his mother inside his mother's locked home, and she repeats that over and over and over again. They also further repeat that this house did not have any evidence of a break-in, that nobody had a key to their home but them, that nobody outside of the immediate family, mom, stepdad, and child, immediate step-family, or immediate family, that's what immediate family means, had the ability to access the inside of their home. That's what they said on the Nancy Grace Show. Nobody outside of their immediate family. Those were the words that were used. But somehow this child disappeared. So a lot of things are being skeptical. The green hoodie person, somebody looking possibly at them in the restaurant, the mom looking around like she's trying to find somebody in the restaurant. You know, I know a lot of people are still asphyxiated on the green hoodie lady because it just doesn't really make sense why somebody would be standing outside of a child's or at a mom's door for 2 minutes before she walks out. It seems a little odd. Many people believe that this green hoodie gal was interviewed over the phone because some idiot on a hate channel said so. This is why we don't go to hate channels for factual information. They never get anything right. It is my understanding by a post from Seth on my channel the other day or yesterday that this person was actually interviewed in person, not over the phone, in person. So I wanted to extinguish any type of misinformation or disinformation about green hoodie guy. And law enforcement has dismissed the green hoodie guy, or gal, I should say. Now, we know that they've misled us. And this is where I think a lot of people's attention are still on green hoodie guy, gal, is because they misrepresented the lights video, which goes to, let's be honest, what we saw goes to the integrity of the investigation. Probably should not have been aired out there in public. Probably why Nick Barris had to change his tune and tone it down and not be aggressive, because his boss probably got a call from, the sheriff. This is what they can't do to social media. Probably got a call from the sheriff and said, hey, this is really effing up our case. You guys are really fucking it up. We need you guys to chill out. We'll give you all the first grabs and everything, but we need you to stop. That's how it works. I don't like that kind of, I believe in freedom of press as it's written. And unfortunately, it's something that law enforcement has had to deal with since our country has been in origin. Okay. Law enforcement has had to deal with press related issues when it comes to homicide investigations for hundreds of years. Okay. I'm pretty sure with the new technology, they should still be able to deal with it with a little more grace. Okay. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. It's written literally in our Constitution. It's ingrained in our freedoms and our rights. It ain't going nowhere. Okay? So we've got things that were coming out about the lights video. We know that those were pretty damaging. It now at least shows activity on the outside of the house that, something was going on there. There were 2 lights. One light went back to the house. Many people can, we have common sense, this interesting thing called common sense, that when you have 2 people in the house and the next morning only one person's in the house and you see some activity on the outside of the house and where only one light goes back toward the house, and again, only one person wakes up. I mean, it's kind of hard to try to tell us we don't have common sense and not to put 1 + 1 together and say it's 2. We should put 1 + 1 together and say it's 4. That'll make everybody else feel better, right? Well, we don't do that. It stinks to high heaven. Something happened to this child. And obviously, one person woke up in this house and one flashlight went back toward this house before that one person woke up. So either the other flashlight is the person that's missing that was accompanied by the person that reported them missing, or something else happened. Then we found out they had a crawl space. And this crawl space appears to be pretty stinking big from the side of their house, the piece of board on the side of the house. How big is that crawl space? And is there any access point in the home? And why are we asking that? Because there's only one side of this home that has an obstructed neighborhood camera view. That means there's no other camera that's on the side of that house with all those trees that could see what was going on that side of the house that night that Sebastian disappeared. And when we blew it up and looked at some footage that I took back in June, we realized all the trees had been cut down, making that side of the house ultra visible. And when that was ultra visible, we could see the crawl space door. And when we learn about crawl spaces, we find out that a lot of these houses in Tennessee have these crawl spaces and also have access to that crawl space, typically from their master bedroom closet. Now, is that the case in this house? I can't guarantee that. I don't know. All I can tell you is what I read on Google. I have never been inside this home. I've never looked at this home other than what's on Zillow. I don't know the floor plan, and I darn sure have not looked at the bottom of their master closet. So I don't know. But that's what we've learned. So we learned all these things, and then boom, we hear about the truck on Elevated Truth. All the while, this unscrupulous PI is trying to run interference and trying to convince me and you that what we saw is not what we saw, that it's just our imagination running wild. And then when you watch Mob Crew, he tells us, no, they're not running wild. We're being manipulated and conned by this grifting PI. And the reason why I say grifting PI is that seems to be this unscrupulous PI's favorite word. And I thought I would educate the public, and hopefully if he's watching, educate him on what grifting is, because you'll see that he's more of a grifter than any person on social media. Why do I say that? Because we come here, we work, we do our thing, we cover these cases, but we work on tips. We work on people that would like to give us a tip for the work and the investigative work that we do in running the show, because our shows are, sponsored by our audience, right? Did you know cable is also sponsored by their audience? I don't know if you knew that or not. They're also sponsored, right? Advertisements and their audience. Because if it wasn't for their audience, they wouldn't get the advertisement. If they didn't get the advertisement, they wouldn't be paid, right? So this is what grifting means. It means to obtain money or property illicitly. Now, wouldn't you assume that, say, a PI that trolls missing persons and reaches out to desperate families and tells them that he's a pro bono investigator and happy to help them bring their child home, and then a week or so later calls them up and says, hey, I know where your kid is, or I know where to search. We need to search here. Oh, by the way, it's going to cost you $3,000 to get me out there. That's not a grift. But somehow you guys providing Mob Crew tips for his hard work on debunking this Yahoo, that's the grift. I think his conduct, and I'm talking about the unscrupulous PI, is criminal. I truly believe it's criminal. I think if we applied some criminal law, he would have some problems, personally speaking. Now, it's just my opinion, allegedly, and in my opinion, right, until he gets some silver bracelets, he's not even being accused of it. But I think there's some fraud and misrepresentation somewhere in there, which are arrestable offenses, by the way. Definitely civil penalties can be associated. So he's calling Mob Crew a grift. He's calling me a grift. He's calling everybody that he doesn't like a grifter. But somehow his con is not a grift, when his con actually is the only type of con that rises to a level of what Google considers a grift. I think he needs to learn a new vocabulary, personally speaking. I thought this was interesting because I'm on Nick's page, and you guys know Nick the Hat. I've worked. I haven't worked for him in the past. I've worked with him. I did and you guys all know this. I did an interview with Dog the Bounty Hunter back in 2021 when he was outside of Cassie Laundrie's house. Him and Francine had pulled up. I thought there was going to be more reporters there to report, but it was just me. And I was able to ask him all my questions that I wanted to ask him in the 30 seconds I had to spit it out of my mouth. And so that was actually, that interview was given to Nick, and Nick sold it to TMZ. And so I have worked with Nick in the past, but it had been a while. And, our relationship was a little strained by the time he had kind of came into this case. And so I wasn't even going to talk to him. I will be honest with you. If I had to be honest about everything, I wasn't even going to talk to Nick. I told Tony I didn't really have a whole lot to say to him. And, Tony's like, well, maybe you need to show some grace. All right. So I had an opportunity to speak with Nick and, talk to him about the case. I was very apprehensive because he was affiliated with JLR. If you guys want to know why I was not going to even talk to him. Okay. It had nothing to do with other than his affiliations with the biggest piece of shit of YouTube. And so I ended up talking to him. You know, we ended up talking a lot about the case, a lot about the information that I had uncovered, and why I felt the way that I had felt. And they were telling me, you know, basically, well, they haven't, you know, learned what I've learned. They're going to start this case from scratch. You know, they're going to be going from the beginning to the end and just follow where it follows. And so I wished him luck and everything like that. I never anticipated him and Dog the Bounty Hunter really coming after this case and really giving it all it's got. It takes a lot of tenacity, passion, and thick skin, because the stuff that they're doing, they're going to be attacked. They shouldn't be, because we're all fighting for the same goal, allegedly. You know, just to bring a 15, 16-year-old boy home, right? It was 15 years old till just recently, a couple weeks ago. And he just turned 16. But prior to that, allegedly, our goal was to bring a child home. So why would anybody not be embracing any type of tool that could be, especially these felon people, these people that they know their reputation really is shit, right? They've been on drugs. They're still struggling with drug addiction right now. And somehow they are better than a man that's dedicated to his life to throwing fugitives in jail. I don't understand that. You would think that if they were truly here, not for the drama, but for this child, they would have embraced this person and gave them all the tools that they need to help bring this child home and bring this child home safely. Wouldn't you agree? Because that's exactly what I did. And I know that's exactly what many other content creators that are covering this case, the real case, right? Not this made up, you know, we need to protect the mom and stepdad because they need protecting bullshit, right? And that's exactly what it is. If they didn't need protecting, they wouldn't have to have protection. Just saying, right? So if the goal was to bring this child home, why would we not embrace anybody that would be coming in here? Somebody that's not a con artist or a grifter, like, you know, this unscrupulous PI that robs, you know, unwitting families blind in the greatest time of need, because he was supposed to be a pro bono, and now it's costing them $3,000 that they don't have because they just took weeks off of work trying to find their loved one. Right? Just doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense. But I find this funny because, and not funny, but a little disturbing, because Nick has been screaming that he has been being silenced. He has been being silenced, and come to find out, he thought it was TBI, and allegedly it may have been another con, and not just a con, like a violation of law, where this unscrupulous PI reached out to his PO under the guise of being the lead investigator, implying he was law enforcement to a federal parole officer. To a federal parole officer. That man should be in handcuffs and thrown in jail for impersonating a law enforcement officer, period. And then he says he's not doing it. Well, apparently and allegedly, it sounds like he has... it sounds to me like he has put out receipts. So here's one of the posts on Facebook. He says, I'm just going to read this. It says, on September 4th, just before 4:45, I was cautioned to back away from the Sebastian Rogers case by an influential figure involved in covering and investigating the case. Be careful. They are gunning it for you. The wolves that hate Seth are digging on you. If that's the case, that sounds like JLR. But at the end of the day, people were already being warned of entering this particular case. And if they entered this case, they would be mauled by people, the people that hate Seth. Why would anybody hate an innocent father that had nothing to do with his child? I mean, at the end of the day, this is his child. We're not here for a divorce. We're not here for any type of BS that either side has. Our only goal, we are true crime. We ain't the freaking moral police or the divorce police, okay? We're just not. We're here to help advocate and hopefully strum up leads in these investigations that might get us to a conclusion in these cases. That's it. We're not here for the moral of the parents. We're not here for the divorce or how much of a great husband or wife they may have been. We're not here for that. We're here for a child. A child that was in his mother's care and disappeared. That's it. That's it. I could care less what this guy did 20 years ago. It has nothing to do with the case at hand. And these yahoos that call themselves true crime are looking at everything but the crime. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. And then the people that are here for this child are being ran off and thrown in jail. I'm fighting it. I'm going to fight it slap to the Supreme Court if I have to. I don't give a rat's ass if I've got to lose every single thing I've worked my life for. I can guarantee by the time I'm done, I will make sure this never happens to another person in that county ever again. That is my promise, and I keep my promises the best I can within my ability. So Nick here says, let me pull this up so you guys can see it just a little bit. Can you guys read it on the screen? Is it big enough? There it is. Enough is enough. I'm releasing the full conversation with SF Investigates, a decision that weighs heavily. Fisher relentlessly threatened, directly and indirect blackmail and manipulation have left me with no other option. As a private investigator licensed across multiple states, his role is meant to protect, uphold justice, and maintain integrity. Instead, he weaponized the authority to intimidate and control. I know Fisher won't stop. He'll expose our texts, weaponize illegal recordings, and continue trying to turn my allies against me. But I won't be boxed in, gagged by his threats and coercion simply for taking on the case that his buddy and confidant, who now turned into a puppet, was even eager and hopeful for us to assist. This isn't just about me. It's about accountability. I've admitted when I've done wrong. My history reflects that. But has he? His refusal to acknowledge his own mistakes baffle me, especially when he disregards professionalism for the sake of always being right. Again, enough is enough. I'm also releasing a screenshot recording of my DMs with @QB, you know who that is. While I didn't expect privacy in those conversations, I now seen how she's twisting my words to spread misinformation. Her actions remind me of a rabid coyote, striking wildly and without care for the harm caused. I'm sharing this not to retaliate, but to stop the lies and prevent further damage. Conspiracy is the only viable path forward to transparency is the only viable path forward to dismantle the chaos and deceit that have enveloped Sebastian's case. So here's the stuff for, let me see if I can stop this. Okay, let's see what we say. This is with, so the pink is Nick and the white is Steve. It says, I see we have mutual pests. Some friendly advice, be careful with that guy. He's unhinged and costly to get rid of. If local police could go through his electronics, he'd be in prison for the amount of illegal material he's stolen from electronic devices and databases from Connecticut to California. If you need any additional information on him, I can email you our personal file on him, but you'd have to keep it under your belt because he'd be back at us if he finds out we shared anything. Actually, I read the complaint and the injunction in your case a few years ago when he was threatening Nick, the woman he was dating, and actually we used part of that, parts about him with us sending pics of the gun during her restraining order hearing. He started filing complaints against my PI license and encouraged his followers to do the same. I filed a defamation suit against him in Florida and received a default judgment against him. He did not file to have it set aside. I didn't pursue it any further after that. He is a cancer for sure. Did he stop harassing you after the order? We have an entire file. You know, it takes a special kind of person to rack up 90 plus page employee file in the first 5 days. He installed his own router with the keylogger in the studio, which inadvertently affected others in our building. I take partial blame for hiring him without background check during COVID because we were so short-handed and he seemed level-headed. After a gun incident, we evacuated our entire production studio, relocated the staff to a corporate site a mile away, which Ali couldn't access. Thankfully, it's much larger and harder to navigate on foot. If you guys are wondering who they're talking about, to me, it sounds like they're having a conversation about Nerdy Addict. From there, things worsen. He booked various rooms at different hotels under the corporation's name. My career and my life relied on relationships with law enforcement sources and government employees who risk their livelihoods to provide us valuable public information. So when he said he'd stand his ground if the police came to his hotel, I felt like that should have been the last straw, but it wasn't. It says a younger correspondent from West Virginia emailed me telling me that Ali had her attend a Zoom meeting where he turned off the screen and gratified himself. The ongoing problem is that he might still have access to our sources, though we weren't sure. The court order in Pennsylvania cost us $20,000 and proved ineffective because serving a hotel hopping homeless schizophrenic is nearly impossible. I don't understand why he isn't in prison for the crimes he's committed regularly. He embeds himself into criminal investigation and drastically alters their trajectory by fueling misinformation through his bots. So you guys know who he is. The only way to stop him is to sue Nerdbird Mafia et al. Name his girlfriend as a co-defendant who supports his lifestyle and decisions to cause harm, whether emotional or physical. Dragging her into this, which is easy since her handle is his company name, might provoke a major outburst from him or lead his surrender, given the erosion of his credibility. Last week, when his name came up, I reconnected with colleagues I hadn't spoken to in years to discuss potential steps on how to handle him if he targets us again. Despite his deep-seated animosity toward our team, blaming us for his misfortunes, we only hired him when people desperately needed work. And I'm texting this, blah, blah, blah. Let me get past that. Blank me at, and I can fill you in, blank has been blank. So it sounds like some stuff was redacted. Super Sleuth, the Carly Russell saga. So that's back when he was hot and heavy with JLR. It's sad how many people go missing. Not enough resources is what Nick says. It's shocking. I'm leaving from a case in Arizona. I'll check out that link. I remember the Carly Russell case where I got tons of backlash early in the case because I called it a scam. No, he didn't. That's freaking. If you want to know the truth, it was moi. But hey, the link I sent sounded like it might be a town murder. And this is the Joshua Zimmerman case. So he was working with SF all the way back there. I don't know how he got entangled with this Yahoo. It says Joshua Zimmerman and friends, blah, blah, blah. So he's sending stuff to Nick's sending stuff to SF. And it looks like that was a conversation about Nerdy Addict. And I wanted to read this to you guys as well, because I think this is also important. It says, at night, apparently Queen Bee is trying to act like she ain't got nothing to worry about. At night is aware of a recent communication between QB and Nick the Hat. We must clarify that his remarks regarding current litigation in Queen Bee's status are incorrect, or excuse me, are inaccurate. In fact, Queen Bee is being added to the injunction, as stated in At Night's previous filed court documents. Nick the Hat has no unilateral authority to decide who or who isn't named in legal proceedings. Furthermore, although the Nick the Hat brand is directly associated with Nick, it's also managed by a small team around 10 individuals. While Nick primarily handles the main post, he does not personally monitor every retweet, interaction, or reply. We address this solely to correct circulating misinformation because this matter concerns active litigation, and we will provide no further comment. And then going back to the SF video, there was some other things here. So let me get that one pulled back up. And it looks like the Queen Bee stuff. And I don't understand why she's reaching out to people that I'm associated with without contacting me, because this is a litigation that concerns her, and she has her own personal attorney. And there's two. I don't know if this is good or not. We'll see. So she's trying to say, Nick, be my friend. I'm fun. Felons always have more fun, man. You know that. So she's embracing the fact that she's a felon and she's having fun. We don't have fun on these channels talking about missing and deceased people. It's the furthest thing from fun. Do we try to have a little commentary and an occasional laugh here and there? Yes. But always have fun? This is not fun for any of us. Man, he put a question mark. Man, let's be friends. I'm fun to hang out with. When you're less judgmental, I'll circle back. I've never heard of you until this case. Not in a bad way. I don't follow much on YouTube and don't base first impressions off of rumors. So I withheld judgment. You've been slipping wisecracks about me from the onset of this case, and I don't mind that. But that morphed into subliminally accusing me of getting Singh's GoFundMe taken down. The amount of stuff I've been labeled and accused of, not just by you, it's just exhausting. I would have 101% been down to join you on your panel and discuss the case and what I knew. But instead, the focus was on me in a park or slamming me for my past. You've got a base. You've got a following. You've got power. Please use it. Please use it. And I promise you, this case will be solved 101% if everybody unites for the greater good. Unity will bring this kid home in the end. It's as simple as that. Maybe when that day nears or comes, we'll look back at this shit show and laugh together when he's home safely, wherever home is. That's Nick. That's what Nick posted. Let's see what she... Man, listen, you blocked me before I ever knew your name because of Betty, and I have a pass as well, so I never judged you on that. With all the fuckery in this case, it's hard not to crack jokes, man, and the bullshit involved in the games, the riddle talks, ridiculous. I don't mind unity, but this bullshit that's going on, I just can't get down with. Oh, because you don't control it? You're reaching out to people, trying to get them over to your skanky ass team? When you don't even talk about this boy? You don't advocate for this boy? All you do is condemn everybody that does? Get out of here with that shit. Get out of here with that shit. I blocked you because I was told you called the parole with everyone else. You also have cracked jokes on me Wait, what the fuck? Who said that and when? I didn't know you. This lady, she don't know nobody, but she seems to know everything. Isn't it so funny? She ain't got nothing. She ain't.
L-I-A-R. You a liar.
Okay, Cupcake. Was it at? And now I got proof. I got proof here. This is going to be used in my case in Illinois. I'll tell you that. Was it after the whole war thing or early? They said JLR got with you behind the scenes and pushed it. You and Dolly and some others. That's why I blocked you. I don't mix myself in any of the at night creator people. So I don't mix myself in any of the at night creator people. So I don't know if all of them hate you or love you. BHB has nothing to do with who I associate with at all. Man, JLR has blocked me and has had me blocked for a very long time. I was best friends with Heels, and she called him and Betty out. He hates me, and so does Betty. I live, so I'll message you back. I'm live, so I'll message you back when I'm done. I hate her. I've never known this lady. It seems to me that she hated me a long time before she tried to turn my life upside down. I hate her. Okay, if I hated her, I could do a hell of a lot worse than I've done. That's for damn sure. And so Nick writes back and says, fuck, I'm sorry about blocking you. I don't know. I have thick skin, but it's low blow when people call parole. I believe them. BHB wasn't one who said it. I don't trust anyone except the people I know and see at least once every few months, which is like 13 of us total, I guess. But just keep this between us, please, so I don't get roasted by at night. Has no intent of adding you to the suit. It was just to see if someone would react and sound good. My cell is blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm a felon. I don't have interest in calling anyone's parole officer. I call bullshit. She doesn't call anybody. She has a fucking team of hit squad do it. And got you later. I don't know. I don't think we're coming for people speaking their opinion. We need different opinions and diversity. You never cross a line in my book, and I appreciate that. That sounds good. You too. Sounds like Nick's sucking on her, you know what, her little crown. Is this true? And she posts an at-night post that says, emergency public notice, Sebastian Waydrake Rogers on the targeted cyber underway. So this is just recently. So him and Queen Bee's just recently had this love interest. Hey, so I thought you said at night has no interest in adding me to the RICO. Lesniak filed a paper and tried to add me to it, though. That's some foul shit. Yep, you're being added, Cupcake. Told you that in open court. Told your attorney that in open court. So there you guys have it. That is the information we got going on. And I promised you I would open up the phone lines. I know we've been going for quite some time, but I wanted to go ahead and put this up here. Melanie, thank you. 3-month member. Shell Bell, Merry Christmas, Betty and Delilah. Our beautiful Gypsy says Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, blessings. YouTuber says, rock your Rudolph peeps. Gypsy says, good morning. Rod, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Pamela, thank you so much. Salty Mama says, check your email. I read it. And then we've got Amazingly True 62. Amazingly True 62. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So without further ado, let me get this. Let me make sure I don't lose. Because if it's not up yet, I might lose my... Why can't I find my little web thingy to turn on? There it is. Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to move this over. Did it drop my sound? It did not drop my sound. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. Let me turn all this stuff off. Let me get all this stuff down. Oh, these are things that I got to play next. I'm not doing these. Oh, I forgot to before we go over to the things, I want to end the poll. Let's see what we think for the poll ending. Give me just a second. Let it pop up. I don't know why it's not popping up. It hasn't started popping up yet. I don't know what our goal. Can anybody see it? There it is. So, do you think Ellen Greenberg unalived herself? 88% said no. 11% said yes, and that was in 364 votes. Okay. Now, without further ado, I am going to add the phone. All right. Don't call just yet. The first person that calls in, now we're not going to be able to stay on the phone too awfully long, okay? Because we only have probably about 30 minutes. So that's enough for 6 5-minute calls, 3 10-minute calls. So if you guys can, so we can get more people calling in, please keep your calls brief. Say what you mean what you say, and don't say it mean. Hey, Rebecca, it's nice to see you. Nice to see you, my love. So the phones are open, 724-252-8070. And I want to let you know, Brenda, I am using your coffee warmer just to let you know. My coffee's been on. You guys can hear it ringing. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from? Oh, lost somebody. Lost somebody. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Could you guys hear the phone ringing? Still catching up. Merry Christmas. Aw, thank you. Could you guys hear that? Nobody's telling me whether they can hear the ringing. Okay. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hi, Betty. It's Illegally Blonde. I'm calling from Ohio.
Well, hello, my love. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's a little too close for Christmas. I still have a few final gifts to get. So as soon as I'm done with this live, I'm going to be out shopping.
Well, Merry Christmas to you and Delilah. I have a K9, and I told her, I said, I wish to God you could act like Delilah does.
Yeah.
I just have a quick question for you.
Sure.
I had never heard of elevated truth, so I caught that. My question is this. I think, my opinion, he knows more and he's got a heavy heart. Why isn't the FBI vetting him?
Well, we don't know what
or can they?
What was the question about the FBI?
Can they vet him? Question him.
Yeah, well, first of all, it does sound like E.T. did go to law enforcement. According to some statements he made on another content creator's channel, he's not only talked to Sumner County, but also TBI. So it sounds like even though we don't know what he knows, he did go to law enforcement with it.
Because he just seems like a man to me.
He seems like when I look at his face, there's something in his eyes. He seems very upset about something, and I don't know what it is. I doubt it has anything to do with just the truck. I think it's a combination of a lot of different things, but you can kind of see he's upset about something. This is not making him happy to do. It doesn't look like he's enjoying, because he likes the people, that he's gotten friendship with, and he knows that this is going to damage those friendships as well. So I feel like he didn't seem like he was very happy having to say what he had to say, but he felt the need to. So that tells me a lot.
Did I catch that he as well has a child?
Who? E.T.
Elevated
I
food.
don't know. I didn't catch that. If he does have a kid, if he doesn't, he looks like he's probably married. I saw a ring on his finger. That's about as much as I know about E.T. I mean, outside of that one, I don't watch him. So
I'd never heard of him. I mean, until all this come about.
Right.
So then I also caught stuff the other night. It's a man that is broken.
Yeah.
And through God, all things are possible, but it's in God's time, not ours.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that. And I'm thankful that he has Tony. And I'm thankful he has you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell this is taking a toll on you.
This case has taken but all the cases take a toll on me, especially when you start seeing the parents and speaking with the parents, they all take a toll on you. I mean, anybody with a heart,
Well, you're doing good work. The only time my K9 settles down is I'm like, Betty's on. She hears your voice and she's up on this bed. And I had caught Dolly the other night, something about going back to Tennessee after Christmas. I thought, good God, I need to go to hold of him, see if he'll take the K9 with him.
Yeah. Well, Delilah, when I go live, she gets behind my back. She gets behind my back and hides.
She is adorable. Of course, here in Ohio, I mean, it's like supposed to be 50 this week.
Uh-huh.
Well, in walking her, I'd gotten her a vest, her vest, and also boots. And absolutely not. She's not going to have it. And so I saw the day the Christmas dress she got for Delilah, and I'm like, Shakira, look at this. Even Delilah.
I know, it's so cute too. It's even got a little hook there for her leash.
Oh, you'll have to put pictures up on the TV.
Of course I will. I'm going to actually dress up for Christmas too. So we're not going to be matching. I'd like to one year I'm going to buy us matching dresses, but not this year.
Oh, that'd be cute too.
Yeah.
Well, you never, I guess, wanted a dog, but you were blessed, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, especially for not wanting to have a dog. Like, she's going to drive me crazy, and she does drive me crazy. I won't lie, but it's in a good way. Like whenever I don't feel like getting out of bed, and she's jumping on me like, Mama, get out of bed. I got to go pee. It's like you can't even sleep in. She's your alarm clock. You're upset. She comes
like having a toddler, isn't it?
It is. And I play with her like
I'll tell you right there's your best friend. Don't ever forget it.
Yep. No, I'm a hover mom. But I've got her trained so she listens to me. If I tell her to come, she lollygags. So when she's out in the front yard and I tell her to come in the house, she sniffs every single blade of grass as she walks slowly toward the door.
No. Well, I'll let other people call in. You and Delilah have a blessed Christmas. And again, I don't know if Seth's listening, but just telling Legally Blonde said all things, will happen with God.
Oh.
But it's in God's time, not ours.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye-bye. All right, phones are back open. I turned the phones off try to turn them off on everybody's call so you guys don't hear other people calling in. So if you guys go straight to my voicemail, that's why. It's somebody's on the other phone. Had to rewind the MVHB, put out receipts. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from?
How are you doing today, Betty?
I'm doing well.
Good. It's Shelley MB.
It's who?
That's where Shelley MB.
Oh, hey, how are you doing?
That's what I come up as.
Yeah.
Good. Short and sweet, because this is a long distance call. I am in Canada.
Uh-huh.
I am in one of the Atlantic provinces, New Brunswick. That's what MB stands for. And I just want to call and wish you and everybody else in your chat a very Merry Christmas. And, of course, sweet, loving Delilah. You are blessed, honey, with having her.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. You made me smile.
Well, I'm glad I could do that. And you always make me smile. And what you said earlier and what you read earlier about losing, people you love and whatnot through the holidays.
Yeah.
It is hard. I am one of those people. I'm on my own now. And I also, unfortunately, it was a year on the 4th of this month, December, lost my best friend in the whole wide world. I try not to cry on you here, Betty.
Aww.
Her name was Tiara. She's the one that's in my Facebook picture, the German Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
And she was 14 when she passed on her terms at home here.
Mm-hmm.
And I got her when she was 4 weeks old. So there was a really strong bond between me and her.
Yeah.
And I miss her dearly, but can't bring her back. She's home here with me now, cremated personally.
Aww.
But
you have all the
hang
great
on.
memories.
Pardon me? I'm sorry, what was that?
I said you have all the great memories.
Yes, I do. And pictures, and that's what I was going to tell you to do with Delilah from the get-go. Get as many pictures as you possibly
She's got a
can.
file. I just want to let you know she has a file.
Keep adding to that file, hon. Keep adding, okay? Because it's, they're so special.
They are.
They are.
She's my
I
best
love
friend.
animals.
She's my gal pal. Like, we do everything together.
Well, that's like, I have a cat here. His name is Pinky, Pinky Cat.
Aww.
And he's my buddy now. And he was rescued. He came to me. And he's helped me a lot through all this, since Tia passed. He's really, helped a lot. But anyways, I won't keep you any longer because I know you will have other callers.
Call.
You're so welcome, hon. So when you see 506 pop up, that's me.
Aww, thank you. All right, God bless you.
You too, sweetheart. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was so sweet. I love that. Making a long distance call just to say Merry Christmas to all of us. That was so sweet. Thank you so very much. I will try. My boyfriend and I are geckos and cats. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from?
This is Beth B. from Chat. I'm calling from Kentucky.
Oh, nice. How are you doing?
Good. I've never called in, so.
Well, you're doing good so far.
Okay. Well, I was just calling to say that I do feel bad for E.T. because he's getting bashed by his friends.
Yeah.
So-called friends for speaking the truth.
Yeah.
And I feel like, this is about Sebastian. This isn't about their feelings.
Exactly. Can you imagine us fighting because somebody is bringing the truth that nobody wants to talk about? Like, we would not be arguing about that. As a matter of fact, we would be sharing that and screaming it from the rooftops. We're not one side or the other. I mean, we have to be now because of the situation, but it should be about Sebastian. I mean, I'm not going to protect Seth.
Right.
You got the wrong one.
I don't agree with sides.
Right.
But when, one side has inconsistencies and stuff, you're going to look more at them.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, Sebastian went missing from his home, a locked home with just his mother in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have the flashlight video, I don't know.
It's a lot.
But Chris had said in one of his interviews, I can't remember which one, but he had to go get his truck after he was released from work. Where was his truck? Like,
well,
did he ride with someone?
Well, see, that's a little different because it depends on what time they get there. The way that whole project was set up, one of the reasons why I was able to talk to people the time of morning I was there is because a lot of people got there early because there's only so many places you can park. They only have the sides of the roads around that thing, and so the later you get there, I'm sure the further away you have to park and walk.
Okay, I was just wondering if that meant that he had like a friend's vehicle and he had to go swap it out.
No, him coming in at 6:45 with all the downstairs crew there at like 5:15, he probably had to park far out. Or he has to pay for a parking garage, and I don't know where the parking garage would be and how much it costs.
That would make sense too, yeah.
Yeah.
But then Chris also stated that they didn't want to go on local news, but Sebastian went missing from his home So I would be putting it out on all of the local news, because if you really thought he walked out the door, he would be local.
Yes. Yes. And then he when he gets home, he tells the news people not to get his home in the footage. I mean, he made them turn their cameras. He went out there and made the news crews turn their cameras.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's really weird. That's like that's like literally the day that this is happening. Who has time to give a rat's patootie about cameras being on? Like, they have bigger fish to fry. They're dealing with law enforcement. They're dealing with a missing child. Who gives a rat's patootie if the news is looking at them?
Exactly. And I don't know why he's so protective of his house. Like, that's where Sebastian went missing.
Because there's probably got to be a lot of secrets in that house.
Yes,
that's the only
I
thing
agree.
I can come to the conclusion of.
Yes, I agree. But yes, I'll let you take the next call.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your call. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Aw, that's so super sweet. Super sweet. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we can equate to strange and some change. I mean, period. There's a lot. You know, even removing the 3-hour conversation, which, yeah, people can talk for a long time, but they can't talk for a long time like that every single day. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I do believe Elevated Truth did say, like, he's had long conversations. I'm sure he has. But, you know, people that are desperate to try to convince people will have those conversations, in my opinion. But it doesn't mean they're having them with Elevated Truth every single day, which is what they're implying to the rest of us. This is Betty. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hi, Betty. This is Pam T. of Michigan.
Hi.
Merry Christmas to every. Pardon?
I said hi, Pam.
Hi. Hi to you. Merry Christmas, everyone, and especially to the sweet Delilah. Thank you for answering all my emails. There's one you haven't answered. I know you've been very busy. God bless you.
I've got a lot of them I haven't answered. I will be honest with you. I was going through the email just yesterday, and I was scrolling through, and I'm like, damn, missed a lot. I can't start answering these. It's Christmas time. I slow down a little bit. I have to be honest with you.
I understand. One thing, though, was you able to review on what Justin had about, when I sent your email about what Justin had mentioned about the CPS report in New Mexico. It gave timelines, and that was very interesting. I wondered, you may want to check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, I will. I'll be going through some of the emails. I'll probably, honestly, a lot of these emails may wait until after Christmas, because from now until Christmas, I'm going to be slammed.
Okay, well, okay.
But I will try to. You know what you might want to do? Go back to the last one and resend it to me so it's at the top of my queue.
Okay, yeah, because that gives some. She specified some specific things in question about Chris CP, where he was. So you know more about it, but that was one thing that may be important. But God bless you and thank you, and I love your preacher praying.
No, thank you, You have a great day. Yep.
Yeah, the turkey man. Yay!
Yes, we do have turkey. He was praying for us I love Turkey Man, and he calls me and speaks to me. You know, sometimes I'm going through rough times. Like his wife was going through some shoulder cuff surgery. I was praying over him. He's prayed over me probably more than I've had to pray over him. But we love him, Turkey Man.
Yeah. Well, if I may say a prayer real quick to you and everyone.
Sure.
Heavenly Father, Almighty, powerful God, you are so great and powerful. Thank you, God, for being with us. Even though being patient with us. Be with Betty and all those that are struggling, are alone during the holidays. Be with us, comfort us. You are so powerful. We love you. And in your own time, we know that you know what happened to Sebastian and all the missing children. Be with them, Almighty God. Comfort us and help us be able to find Sebastian and the people who are responsible for whatever they did. Thank you, Heavenly Father. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You have a wonderful Christmas, and hopefully you call back into the show again.
Thank you. I'll still be listening. I love you.
Thank you. Love you too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's check our time. We've got time for one more call. Let me turn the phones back on. I got a time for one more call before we close out the show. One more call. If anybody'd like, 724-252-8070, 8070. That was beautiful. All the callers have really brightened our day. I love it. I love it. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from? Hello? Can you hear me?
Betty, how you doing?
There you are. I can hear you now. Who's this and where are you calling from?
My name is Sharon and I'm from Virginia.
Oh, nice to see you, Sharon. Thank you for calling in. It's nice to hear your voice.
I've been watching this since the beginning, and my opinion, KP and CP and didn't they say that he went to work early that morning?
Somebody tried to say that. We know it came from Heather and the other PI that started letting it be run rampant, but I don't know where they got the information from, because it's a direct contradiction of the work that I did. And then, Silver's on the scene went out months after I did my work and came up with the same conclusion.
Okay, so you don't think he went to work early then? Because my opinion, this is my opinion, I think that was KP and CP with those flashlights taking Sebastian to a vehicle, and CP heading back to the job site, because I remember him saying also that you could bury a body and 3 inches of concrete can never be found.
Yeah, but he wasn't pouring any concrete on that job. That job had very little concrete pours on it. Most of the stuff that he moved were already prefab concrete, like posts and poles that are shipped to them, because it's large construction. It's done much differently than typical construction. The foundation had been laid, I would say, probably a year and a half ago, something like that, because it was already like 4 or 5 stories by the time I drove by it. They would not have been able to put that much up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was just my thought.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about 3 inches of concrete.
Yes, but we cannot look past that they do have family in construction, and there are builders, like they are legit builders, so they have different houses,
that's my opinion.
Different phases of construction.
Right. Well, that's my opinion. I think KP and CP, and I think he's right about where KP said he was, or CP said he was.
Mm-hmm.
3 inches of concrete.
It's possible. I mean, we've heard of things being, people being discarded.
It's sad, and I want to pray for Seth, pray for his family.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this is going to be a good outcome.
Yeah, I think we've discussed it, but at the and I have to concur. But the only thing that does give me hope is the fact that it isn't final yet. We haven't found Sebastian.
Right.
So let me
ask the question: Can they still be charged if there isn't a body found?
There's still, in a circumstantial case, even if it depends on what circumstantial evidence they have, but they can, even in a circumstantial case, I've seen people go after first degree, and even without a body, and got the conviction of first degree. But it depends on how much evidence they have. How much circumstantial evidence do they truly have to go after a circumstantial case? Many of the cases are done at second degree level, second degree murder, because they don't have the body. It takes an overwhelming amount of circumstantial evidence to bring a first degree without a body.
an overwhelming amount of circumstantial evidence.
Oh, okay. So I was just curious. So, and well, thank you, Betty. And I watch you every day, and I think you're amazing.
Well, I want you to have a wonderful and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I know you'll probably be watching before Christmas because I have like 4 more shows before Christmas, at least.
Forward to it. Well, thank you.
And don't forget
Merry
to be here Christmas morning, 9 a.m. Christmas morning, 9 a.m. We're opening gifts.
Oh, I look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was the last call we're going to take. We have some other stuff that's coming up. Hold on here. No. Okay, this is a 10-minute video. Hold on, I thought I had a smaller video. And this is the one. 5D. 5D showed up on our panel. And I forgot to go over it, so let's go over it now. Thank you, 5D. 5D, if you haven't signed up for 5D, 5D is like, remember how we used to have all these horrible, bad clip channels that just perpetrated the same vomit that these hate channels did? Well, now we have good clip channels, true crime clip channels, which is a breath of fresh air. And a 5D, I'd have to think, is one of those true crime clip channels. They're clipping good stuff. Let me take the spanner off because we don't need it anymore. We're not close the phone lines. And so here is this. I wanted to hear it. It's about 9 minutes. I think it's worth listening to. This was captured from 5D, and we'll be discussing slightly. Let me see where the rest of this stuff is. I think that's it. I know I had some more stuff here, but apparently I didn't.
My knowledge. Ever over there by himself alone in that area.
Okay, thank you.
And can I just say, backtrack a little bit about what you were talking about? I hope it doesn't feel like we're grilling you, because I think this is what it should be like. We're focusing on where can we focus our attention on finding Sebastian, right? I hope that's okay. So we're not like I'm overstepping or anything like that. Then I apologize. That's the last thing I want to do.
If you were, I would have taken you down already. You know, I think you've been pretty nice, pretty respectful, pretty nice, you know, especially for being your first time up here.
So here's the funny thing. So the questions you're asking, I have been asked these questions before by other YouTube creators on their shows live. And answered them. There's no difference. There's no different answers. Just the same across the board.
Well, the truth is the truth is the truth, and it never changes, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Except when it comes to the man that's on the screen. Except when the man comes, it's on the screen. And this one here is, I'm pretty sure it's from Hindsight. Nope, 5D. That's right, 5D. I got another one from Hindsight that's 10 minutes. We're going to do that later tonight.
I like to go to the facts and look at that. And that's the only way, if we're going to be able to help in any way, finding, is to get to the bottom of the facts.
Mm-hmm.
And
there is some information I cannot release.
Of course.
Period. We
don't want you to do that.
Respect that.
We don't want you to do that. That is the one thing that we've had some great questions. Chat's been amazing again, because not once have you had to say to us, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. That's the best part about this, right? So far we haven't hit anything like that. And I appreciate it so much.
He just did.
Well, and I will say there might be some questions like if people have asked about my house. I don't care if law enforcement says I can't divulge it. I'm still not going to tell people, just because, one, it's my house.
It's a safety concern. You have to live there. Yeah, no.
I don't blame you.
Go into your house. I wouldn't let anybody in my house or in my yard or around my yard. No, fuck that. Especially after we've seen everything that's been done to these families. And no, absolutely not.
Driving.
Yeah, they could try to plan something or do anything. I mean, you don't know what they could do.
Keep the people away from your house. Absolutely not.
I'm sorry, 5D. I can't watch it. I can't watch that pig. I can't watch her. I just can't. I can't stand to listen to her friggin' voice at all. At all. She's shady as fuck. She lies through her teeth. If anybody wants to listen to her nonsense, make sure you bring your pocketbook with you because that's all she gives a damn about. Enjoy. God bless you for that. You know, whatever. But I can't watch it. If you guys want to watch the rest of that, please go over to 5D. 5D has more patience than me, right? So go check out 5D. I already listened to it once. I heard it, went to hear it again. And it's like freaking nails on a freaking chalkboard. I can't do it. I can't stand listening to that freaking lady's voice. It's awful. It's awful. I guarantee if she showed her face, if her panel showed their faces, they would lose a lot of, that's probably why they're a bunch of squares. They would lose half their audience. People do judge people based upon their appearance. And that's why they keep their cameras off. Just in my opinion. My opinion only. My opinion only. Don't be a square. Be a Betty. That's all I got to say. All right, guys. Thank you, Be Betty fan, for putting that down there. If you guys would like to go over there and check that out, please consider doing so. 5D, thank you for all you do. Hindsight 2020. I'm about to say 2020. Hindsight 2002. Thank you for all the work you do. I've got a 10-minute one that we are going to be starting off with on our next live. Thank you all for being with me for over 3 hours today. God bless each and every one of you. I'm going to say this for the next couple days, but Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all. We're going to be open and working on Christmas morning, 9 a.m. We are opening a gift together, okay? If you don't have a gift, go buy yourself a gift. I'm alone. I'm buying myself a gift to open up with you guys. Why? Because I don't want you to be alone. Go buy your stinking gifts so we can open up together, damn it. It's Christmas. You're going to like it, and you're going to enjoy it whether you like it or not. I have put my line in the sand. Not Monday morning. Christmas morning, 9 a.m. Be here aggressively. I like that aggressive cooking. I'm learning a lot from her. Can you guys tell? Wash your effing hands. If you touch raw meat, wash your hands. All right, I'm done with the satire. You guys have a great day. I just want to tell all of the channel sponsors today, thank you so much. Melanie, Shell, Bell, don't forget. Oh, good gracious, I forgot who I sang happy birthday to. It's a birthday. Somebody's got a birthday. It's a birthday. Sorry. It's been 3 hours ago. Forgive me. Gypsy, it's nice to see you. YouTuber, Gypsy, Rod, God bless you. Thank you. Pam, thank you. Salty Mama is the one that sent the Not Alone email that we reread for people not to feel alone, especially if they're missing their loved one. Amazingly True 62. Thank you so much. Michelle gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to say thank you. And Renee, thank you guys. We'll see you later today. I don't know when. It's going to be probably this afternoon. I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock, somewhere around there. Be back, be here, or be square. We're running rain or shine. It's going to be starting when it starts. I'll make up my decision in the next hour and put a thumbnail up there. Please check out my channel in the next hour and a half, and sign up for whatever live I'm doing tonight. God bless you. I hope you guys learned something today on Ellen Greenberg's case. Got updated on the pain that's still going on and will forever go on. With the Idaho 4, and then, of course, all of this nonsense and distractions of the Sebastian Rogers case, while at least we have the missing person flyer behind us. We want to bring him home. We want to bring him home safely. We want his dad to have a Christmas miracle this year, and that's just going to be what we pray for. We never know, right? God moves mountains. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll get lucky. But at the end of the day, he hasn't been found, so we always have hope. No matter how much we feel, I feel a certain way. I talk about how I feel. I talk about why I feel the way I do. But at the end of the day, he hasn't been found, and there's always a chance that I could be wrong. And I pray each and every day that I am proven wrong when it comes to this case. So we're just going to keep our prayers up.
we're going to keep our spirits up, and we're going to be renewed by praying for others this holiday season. So God bless you guys, and rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and, more importantly, kind to one another. But the ones that want to be nasty, we also have a message for you.
Let me tell y'all something. You ain't got to ever worry about getting nobody back for some shit they done did to you. Because quiet as it's kept, everybody working get paid. Let me break that down so you understand what I mean. Everybody working getting paid. See, some of you motherfuckers don't even know that you're working. But payday comes after a while, bitch. You being messy, you're working. You gossiping about people, you're working. You stealing, lying, cheating, or just all around doing some fuck shit, you're working. And payday is on its motherfucking way. Ha ha! Let me tell you something, you working motherfuckers. Some of you bitches got overtime in that bitch too. Ooh, that payout gonna be good. So when you get your check, bitch, don't complain. You worked for it.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.